Do you see the final result? It's closed now. It's all done. You want the final number?
I didn't see the final result, no.
WQAM, 10,543. The other guys, 3,012.
You're a regular Mayor Daley.
That's correct. We only won by 7,531 votes.
That's classic.
Well, you know why? And I want to thank Joe Rose or whoever dropped off that email from your friend Alan Brown yesterday, because it was so obvious that they were they were loading it up, loading the damn thing up, and emailing, and all whipped up to a frenzy, and let's crush QAM. So I figured, and I looked back at your friend Greg Cotex in the Herald, what he had written, and about he chatted you up. Remember this a few days ago? He wrote that.
Yeah.
He says it ain't a scientific poll, all right. It's just for fun. We have built-in safeguards to discourage ballot stuffing. But if either station wants to lobby for votes on air or do whatever they can, so be it. So that was like an invitation, obviously, for those guys to do the daisy chain email thing. And so, we did whatever we can. We rallied our troops and we got people out there and whipped them up to a frenzy, knocking on doors and whatever. And also in the individual races, too. Let's see. Mad Dog beat Joe by 137 votes. You were third. La Bastard, you beat him by a long shot. And then the least favorite, he even beat you by a mile, which you usually get that distinction, but he had 599, you had 448. Sid the Kid had 235. Pretty weak for a guy that's only been on here about 10 minutes. And the big O,
rock solid,
only 108. That's because he's on when people are still sleeping. But nevertheless, so we sure kicked their ass, okay? We crushed the ticket.
Yeah.
Ripped it up.
Thanks to you.
Into a million little pieces. So you're going off to Vegas now, huh?
Yes, I am.
Well, don't lose too much.
I have to do a television show tonight, and then Sunday morning I do the pick from Caesars.
Great temptation to gamble there.
There is? Gambling there, too?
Now, let me ask you, is the Beast not going with you to Vegas?
No, I don't take him everywhere.
I'm going to Windsor tonight.
I've had enough of the Beast. 4 days in a foxhole.
Now, when you're going to Windsor, does that mean you're going to the strip clubs or you're going over there to gamble?
Yes.
Both. Both. Uh-huh. I can just hear it now. Wheel of torture. I can hear it now.
My finger's going to hurt in the morning.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But it was. We had a good week of shows here. Beast did a great job, and I appreciate it. As opposed to some hosts who didn't appreciate him so much, they didn't know what they had. The Beast is a diamond in the rough.
You starting again? You starting up?
Beast didn't send me a New Year's card. No.
Him.
Yeah. I guess it can now be told to the world, and we don't have to have Clarence coming in giving people dirty looks. Zach Krantz is across the street because somebody wanted him fired it off his show.
I've already...
Huh?
Guy's a coconut.
There you go. All I can say is... Yeah.
Well, great job by you, Neil.
Yeah, I think so. I'm glad that you recognize it because the rest of the station is still oblivious. They don't even know there was a poll, Yeah. They don't even know what's going on.
We don't wanna.
That's okay.
By the way,
you want to get something done, do it yourself.
I also want to thank Todd Kelleher for the updates this week because he's the only guy who wasn't mentioned when Mo left the station.
Yeah.
And
Todd Kelleher.
Oh, hey, I got news for you. They were like at crossroads right there at the end, man. They were like right there getting ready for the big duel, the big shootout.
Moose is really good.
Because where was the love? Don't you remember that deal that day? Yeah. Where's the love? Where's the love, Todd? Don't you remember that? Yeah. That was another one of his psychotic episodes. I don't think there was... Even the janitor, I think he probably had some episode with, talking about coconuts. At least he was consistent. I'll say that for the Momeister. Everybody hated him.
I'm sorry I got you started.
No, don't be sorry. It just happens to be true. I mean, it's just the way it goes. The guy made his own bed, and anybody that doesn't want to understand that is just a hard ass, We invited him into our family with open arms and legs, and he turned around and just started with a Ginsu knives, man, stabbing everywhere he could. By the way, Defo, nobody wants you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh.
Well, listen, have a great safe flight.
Hey, you have a good day, and
tomorrow morning I'll be up and early, and I'll be at him again. Wheel of Torture. I mean, they got all these other games that should probably that Monte Carlo spin to win and all this other stuff. The Beast can tell you, man, it's addicting. I think we should file a class action lawsuit against Merv Griffin.
Okay.
Against Pat and Vanna.
He's got plenty of money.
That spin symbol is addicting. You look at it, it's like hypnotizes you. Am I right?
Yeah,
there you go.
I will not leave a machine until I get a spin.
And leave a machine. And even if you win and you want to put in you play your credits out, I'm going to put another 20, another 40 until I get another spin. And then the spin, of course, is like 25. But
okay.
Bastards. That's Pat and Vanna for you. By the way, congratulations. They both just turned 95. No, you know, they're almost as old as we are.
Been on that show for about 40 years.
Listen to me. They're almost as old as we are. She's 57 and he's 59.
But wouldn't you like to have that kind of talent that she does?
Yes, I'd like to have his talent and his money, okay?
Yeah. Well, you're not doing so bad.
I'm doing fine. I have no complaints.
By the way, I want to thank Shy and Cope, too. They've been working very hard this week. We had a good week of shows, and
well, thank God.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we needed them. And
yeah, you guys needed to counterbalance everything else.
We don't wanna. We don't wanna.
What a bunch of wusses we got.
You got to rise above. That's
right. I did rise above, and as always, when the push comes to shove, yours truly, I rallied up the troops. While the other guys were just laying down, wait for a steamroller.
You know what? We had last night. I had dinner with Rich Dalrymple, who's a Dallas Cowboy PR guy, who used to work in Miami, and we told Sonny Hirsch stories for about an hour, and just laughing. Sonny was really such a great person, and so. So really a lot of laughs to be around. He had good humor.
Yeah.
Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. You liked Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny. I worked with Sonny long before you did.
Yeah, that's
worked
right.
With Sonny from the day I came to town on KAT.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
Was an understudy.
Thanks for your major contribution to the
and
mankind.
Joe Freeman was doing the news, and by the way, Joe's still dead. I'm sorry to say. Listen, have a safe trip, and I'll see you on Monday.
I'll talk to you Wednesday.
Like I said, I'll see Bo on Monday. See you Wednesday.
Okay.
Don't lose too much.
Hi, this is Randy Moeller. Atlantic Coast Mortgage is the only mortgage company in South Florida at the same location since 1982. Why would you deal with someone else? One branch and ready to help serve you. If you want a free cruise, don't call them. If you want it to rain on a sunny day, don't call them. If you don't want to pay closing costs, don't call them. If you want great with Straight Talk, call them at Atlantic Coast Mortgage. In Dade, call 305-944-0733 or in Broward and Palm Beach at 954-987-8077 for Atlantic Coast Mortgage.
If you missed the Hammers' coverage of Super Bowl 40 in Detroit, you missed it.
Dick Stockton joins us. Matt Hasselbeck was a jerk to his teammates, to fans. He's been a wise guy. Holmgren said to us, he says, yeah, that's...
Friday, you bastards.
Give Grandma and Grandpa the gift of today's hottest music with Senior Bop.
I ain't seen she's a gold digger. But she ain't messing with no brokies, huh?
Senior Bop features the greatest hits sung by the greatest generation.
I walk this empty strip on the boulevard of broken hips.
Senior Bop covers all your favorite artists like that whippersnapper Eminem, those tattooed Nancy boys Blink-182, and those brazen young hussies, the Pussycat Dolls.
Don't you wish your late wife was hot like me? Don't you? Well, don't you? Speak up, I can't hear you.
Senior Bop is not available in stores that the van from the nursing home drives to, so call now.
Beverly Hills, that's where I want to retire. Retire in Beverly Hills.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
I already heard this.
What? Yeah, this sounds familiar. It's like feedback. Like instant replay. Let's go to the videotape. Turn it up a little bit. Come on, we can't hear it.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. I want to find out what the over-under was on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll give you an over and under, okay? My foot up your ass and you out the window. That's the over and under. Get out of here, jackass. What a moron. Hey, that ties right in with our poll today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't this supposed to be a sports station? Aren't you supposed to give us information on the Super Bowl? How could anybody care about anything else besides getting drunk and just passing out on the floor watching the Super Bowl?
What else is there?
I don't know if I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. I don't have any interest in either one of those two teams.
How do you not watch the Super Bowl, though?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I'll show you how. Well, I know he doesn't, but how do you not watch the Super Bowl?
Oh, I'll probably watch it, but I don't know. It all depends. Maybe I'll find something better to do, like pick my nose.
Or someone else.
She takes the finger.
There you go. Man, did we crush the other guys? I think we're going to crush QAM. I got news for you, Alan Brown. You diddled with the wrong guy. Let me just tell you that right now, okay? And thanks to whoever brought that, Joe Rose's boyfriend, whoever brought that email in yesterday, because that's what set me off. That's what made us determined that even without the help of some of the other wimps we got on this radio station, that we were going to kick their bloody ass. As well deserved, okay? And like I said to that fake fax from the Chronic from Cocoa Beach who sent that garbage in yesterday, who doesn't understand ratings at all, for them to be giving us any kind of a lecture on ratings or success or anything, or listeners, when they got mostly, over the history of their station, they got like shares. They got 2 bogus months in there with a few wire diaries when there was like, minimal return of diaries. And right away, we're kicking their ass. Talk yourselves into it, okay, Alan Brown and Joel Feinberg? Talk yourselves into that big success. Even Joe Rose knows that place blows. Oh, it's got kind of a nice ring to it, don't it? Joe Rose knows that the other joint blows. And if it weren't for Greg Reed lying to him so much, Joe would still be around. And by the way, Geldy, I was in here the first couple of minutes checking online, making sure we were kicking their ass. And I heard a couple of minutes of Geldy.
Oh, Greg Reed's in the building, looking real spiffy. Nice to see Greg here.
No, it's not. Go away, Greg. Don't you get the message, Greg? Go away. Don't go away, Mag. Just go away. Go sit at home and read the funny papers, or have somebody read them to you. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to you.
Buenos dias.
Tell that faggot it's 47 and not to bother you anymore.
Okay, thanks. The over and under is 147. And don't bug us, you jackass. People gambling on ball games. Boy, you got to be some kind of a moron. Don't you have to be a moron? Ron?
No comment.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, what's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Yesterday, I just happened to see a big blot of smoke. I thought the people across the street were going ablaze there.
Yeah, they're on fire, all right. They're flaming.
Flaming. Can I get 2 special requests, Neil? Because I got an obnoxious neighbor. I want to crank my radio up and you can play that Eddie bit, like maybe like around 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other one was I forget the one where the guy was calling.
Okay, he forgets the one. Okay. I'll probably forget that, too, by about 12. That's a long ways away for an old man like me. 5, 6, I want to take 40 million calls today because I feel euphoric, like, we came through. I've learned my lesson for sure this time. Don't look around to the other folks on this station to, compete or, go out there and, duke it out, put our best feet forward or our best toe forward.
We don't wanna.
Fine, okay. I can handle it. We got this gigantic oozing audience, most of which is a non-sports nerd audience. We'll get to that. We got that poll today, and it's perfect for the Super Bowl weekend, too. That's what inspired me about it. Because I have nothing but revulsion for sports nerds, Big hockey fan, big Patriots fan. Other than that, they can take all of it and jam it, including baseball. But so it's not that, and of course, I used to be a big baseball fan too. So it's not that I've never been into spectator sports, but I mean sports nerds, which we have way too many of those around the QM building. Hopefully, that'll be one thing Joe Bell will do, is he'll bring in some kind of those things where you go panning for gold. What do they call those things?
Pans.
No, you know what I mean.
They're called pans, and you use them to
No,
pan
not
for gold.
pans. I'm talking about where not panning for...
the sieve.
No, not that either, where you go on the beach and you metal detector things.
Okay.
Those magic wands.
They are metal detectors, yes.
Right. That's what we need. Bring in that wand to detect the sports nerds, the O.J. Simpson lickers in our building. Yeah. Oh, you're laughing. You know it's true. You know who I'm talking about. The people that got O.J. posters up on their walls.
Oh,
God.
O.J., you're so great. Can I please sniff your jockstrap, O.J.? Can I sniff your old Bruno Mali shoes, those ugly-ass shoes?
You don't need a metal detector to find them in the building. You just wait for people to show up.
No. You mean like Gary Sarner? WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing? Happy
All right,
Friday.
Pally.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. The Super Bowl is boring.
Yeah, it usually is. Once in a while, it's a great game. A couple of years ago, it was a hell of a game, but nobody watched it because they were all whipped up about Janet Jackson and her boobies. What?
How big is his jockstrap? How big is his underwear? How big is his back? Enough already. And in closing?
Yeah, in closing, see ya. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
All right.
Let me give you a head start. BloodsweatandBeers.com. I'm surfing last night, and there's this show called The Outdoorsman. Have you heard of it?
No.
Bunch of guys go out into the woods drinking and then do all these different contests.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're picking their teams, I'm sitting there watching this with my wife. As they pick the teams, these guys start hugging each other. And then they got excited. The guy jumps on another one, wraps his leg around him, and they fall back over the tent. My wife looks at me and says, "It's a gay club, you moron." BloodsweatandBeers.com. They sell a DVD
That's a gay
for
club, you moron.
Excellent.
Check it out. I sat there with my jaw. I couldn't believe that these guys watched it and then want to actually sell a DVD of these guys I swear
those are guys who shower a lot back at home, believe me, together. They shower a lot together. You know, there's nothing worse than a guy who never takes a shower, especially the people that go to Woodbine and can smell them. But people that shower together, guys, there's something really gay about that. And those are generally the sports nerds, you know?
Yeah.
Because Al was right about that before they put him in Rikers Island and destroyed his life. Pretty sad. 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM, we got Curtis Stevenson at 2, Eddie K for the Mad Dog from the Yenta Center at 4 o'clock in anticipation of tonight's trashing. Panther preview at 7, the Panthers against the Atlanta Trashers at 7:30. Atlanta's hot, man. They're on fire. They are good. They're kicking ass. And then after the hockey game, it's Lenny Martez and Troy after the game. You ready for that?
No.
And, of course, we got all the big Super Bowl festivities this weekend, which, man. 6 o'clock, look at the Sunday schedule, 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. Sporting News Radio, because the Super Bowl's on. So, basically, we give up. We surrender. So, as opposed to putting alternative programming on, because we don't have any. So, we're going to go on from 6 o'clock in the evening till 5 in the morning on Sunday. And just put crap on because we know we'll have a share. That'll be about the time we can get right down there with those other guys and have a zero share. Scooter Libby trial set to begin January 8th, 2007. Boy, that's a long ways away. And of course, you'll notice after the congressional elections this fall, just conveniently. See that?
Yep.
Hey, when you're shopping for shoes, you know.
Oh God.
I like to go fishing inside the shower store. Slip slide as I go swishing and splatter off the wall. I bend over forward, try to aim it at my leg. But I'm much too small, my tiny feet fall away.
Why, trippers on my leg.
When April showers come my way, I like a golden shower. And squirt, spritz, and spray, taking a golden shower. I like a golden shower. I use the trickle-down theory before I start to scrub. I rinse off my wee-wee with a pair of loofah gloves. Blowing on my toes makes me feel so wet and wild. Cleaning is a scream when I paint myself in miles. Aren't you glad that I use style? When April showers come my way, I like a golden shower. And squirt, sprit, and spray, taking a golden shower. Taking a golden shower.
Cube, 1017 at 560 WQAM. Happy Friday, February the 3rd. So anyway, I'll save that for a minute. Alan Brown and the final result. They've closed it down. I guess they finally conceded. Didn't you see like they were waving a white flag down the street?
Is that what they were waving?
Yes, they were waving a white flag. So Barry Jackass this morning says, and I forgot to mention this with a humper, he had to rush out of there because he had the plane to catch to Vegas to go plunge his guts out.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Jackass in the middle, and Jim Sarney has nothing to say this morning. 3 pages of nothing on the internet. WQAM considering how to replace 2 to 4 p.m. host Howard David. Yesterday asked Jim Mandich about his interest in working 2 to 6 p.m. instead of 4 to 7, though no offer was made. I would consider anything, but I'm very happy with the job I have, Mandich said. I left it at that. We'll keep talking. I'm not convinced it's their number one preference or my number one preference. You know what that means? No. Well, why wouldn't it be their number one preference?
Of course it is.
Somebody better convince him a little more sternly, you know what I'm saying?
Drama, clear.
Mo Howard David had said yesterday he hasn't decided on his next career move. He hasn't decided on his next movement, but when he decides to let it go, you'll smell it. So there you go. Nice going, Mo. He's getting paid a couple of months for going away. By the way, Zach Krantz is over there across the street because of him. Who has the least self-respect? 1,585 votes on the poll yesterday. Colin Powell, 260. The man with that vial. I hate this poll, 254, and I would agree with that. It was a really sucky poll. But we were following Greg Cotex's instructions there. We were whipping up the troops and get them all out there doing their thing, huh?
You were working
got all the precinct captains going. And kick their ass, Alan Brown. Kick your ass. Paris Hilton 220, Courtney Love 213, the Democrats 193. The QM sports staff,
we don't wanna.
127. You know how we got that sign on the wall that says "Just give us the effing money" as the motto of the sales department? Mm-hmm. Well, that's the motto now for the sports department.
We don't wanna. We don't wanna.
Well, that's not right. We don't wanna implies that they know what they don't wanna in the first place.
Well, no, it's an open-ended deal. Open end.
Rectum.
Like no matter what it is, they don't wanna.
There's nothing else.
We took up the cudgel for 'em, whatever a cudgel is. The QM sports staff 127. Matt Fudge, he's got 93. Talk about no respect. How do you look in the mirror when you shave it every morning, Matt? Self-hating queen. Ron Jeremy, 73. And by the way, Tom Cruise is still in the closet with John Travolta and with, what's his name?
Nelly?
No, not Nelly.
R.
That
Kelly.
wasn't Nelly. That was R. Kelly. Rhymes with Nelly, yeah. Oh, that was great. And then I watched the one with the Virgin Mary bleeding out of her ass. Ron Jeremy said, my favorite was when the Pope walked up there. That was good.
With the dark rings around his eyes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Pope. Ron Jeremy, 73. Jack Abramoff, 57. Jose Canseco, 45. And Ileana Rosanna still cavelling from, oh, Jose, this book was so bad, but you're a nice Cuban boy, and so we'll look the other way. Yeah. Your mama. Robert Downey Jr., 29. And Alan T. Brown, 21. How do you like that? Alan Brown from downtown, from right across the street. We're up the block and down the road where Grandma Boone hangs it out. That is a panic. Okay, here's today's poll, and again, it's in anticipation of the Super Bowl, which we're going to be hearing the overs and unders and your predictions and whatever else not. I don't care. Whatever you like. Whatever you like. Started the week in kind of a... well, actually, Tuesday we had a great time, because that's when we started getting into this poll thing, for fun. Mm-hmm. And a little diversion. And see, if we were working on a real radio station where people really had that kind of like gung-ho spirit, that competitive... other than Miguel, did anybody come in here this morning? And you notice the Beast was chortling and chuckling when I give the final results there with Hank. See, they congratulated us on doing a big job there, but you would think that the rest of the radio station would have come in here and said, man, what a job. That's incredible. What a joke,
You know, I told you and you thought I was kidding.
You told me what?
That no one else is still aware that there was any poll. That there was ever anything going on.
Or that we were talking about, or that our audience crushed them like a grape.
War in Iraq, or that you're on the air.
They crushed them like an elephant stepping on Gilbert's grape.
It's the game, baby.
Okay. Well, there's the poll. How much of a sports nerd are you? 588. And you people, now, for example, it says, I'm a fan, not a nerd, 191. We don't believe you. You like that? We don't believe you. Right. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody who's a sports fan, like me, for example, or Josh, is a sports nerd, but I think a lot of you are in denial.
Right.
Like all these embarrassing people. Oh, well, this one talks about that, and this one's got all the right guests on, and oh, please, give me a break. Like I told you, because you got all these 24/7 like ESPN 1, 2, and a 3, and all this other crap to fill up. So now every time somebody plays a game of any game, they play like bocce ball. Even those kids that were doing that backyard wrestling thing. Yeah, they have a press conference when they're done, so they can show their injuries and I'm going to be out for a couple of days, but I'll be back next Monday. And yeah. Oh, give me a break. Dumb jocks sitting in front of microphones. And of course, we got a lot of that on this station. Dumb jocks sitting in front of microphones, and of course across the street. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd. 191. We got 588. I think we got a shot at 1,000 today, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
We got a shot. It's not a given. It's not a done deal. And this audience may be exhausted from all the work we've had them do this week. Thanks, by the way, to everybody who voted 400 or 500 times. Thank you. I have some interest, but not big time. 180. Now that would indicate to me like a normal person. I think I voted for that. I hate everybody, 53. I just threw that in there, knowing it would do very well in South Florida. Yeah, because we also got I hate this pool, but I hate everybody even did better. I hate everybody. 53. I think I hurt myself. I hate this pool, 31. I'm a total sports nerd, 31. At least they're honest. I hate spectator sports.
About 30, man.
I love to shower with the guys, 24. I think I know every one of them. I have no interest, 18. That was George's vote. He just he's not interested. Don't care. He's not going to watch no game.
Got nothing to do with me.
Sunday night. He don't even know it's like the rest of our station with that pool. You're the same way. You don't even know there's a game Sunday night.
That's right. It's like they are with everything else in the world.
Who's playing in the Super Bowl, George? Come on.
I don't know.
Come on.
I'm telling you I don't know.
Think about it.
No. You can't
only for gambling purposes, 15. That Hank must have voted for that. Is there anything else besides sports? 10. And I'm a jock sniffer, 7. Oh, come on. Those all came from inside our building. Didn't they? I bet the water Nazi voted for that. Oh, now H. He just voted again, 601. Yeah, we'll get to 1,000 today. Okay, I don't want to dwell on this. We wasted a lot of time this week. It was a lot of fun. It was aggravating at times because the rest of our crew, they didn't wanna. And that's okay. That's all right. Don't do anything a little bit different. It might, throw you off your routine. Now, that's why it cracks me up, these people. Oh, well, Neil Rogers is so old and stale, and he's been doing the same sorry act for 100 years. Yeah, right. You want new and exciting, baby. You want somebody that's right in the trenches there kicking some big bloody ass. This is where you'll find it, as opposed to, same old jazz man. Just like Liza Vanilla said.
Jazz man.
Same old jazz man. Jazz McKay. Hey, buddy. What did he used to say?
See ya, Pally.
No, he didn't say Pally. Just because he was big and fat. Don't throw him into that.
Hiya, Pally.
Into that category with that walking swill head. So anyway, yesterday morning, for anybody who was out of town or sleeping or, whatever you're doing, maybe found a life yesterday. So Joe Rose or somebody across the street dropped off a copy of an email from Alan Brown, the Vice President of Communications. To make a long story short, it was an email to everybody who's ever worked over there at 790, the janitor, his girlfriend, his wife, anybody who ever went to elementary school and graduated or not. And it's just got 8 million names on here from Zach Krantz and Jonathan Zaslow and Mark Hockman and Kevin Rogers and Hockman Nishkane Chinik and Kurt Murphy and Jeremy Peltz and Stugatz John Wiener, all these people. And Alan Brown's message to these people as he started this daisy chain, it's dated Tuesday at 1:23 p.m. This is after I put our station out to an 800-vote lead, very comfortable lead. We were crushing them because we got our people to vote, that's all. Which wasn't their idea. Greg Cotex, who's in bed with them over there, the whole Herald is in bed with them. In fact, everybody that works there must take the Herald to bed at night. You realize that?
I did not know. Also
into the throne room. They have to wipe their with the sports page from the Herald. Anyway, Alan Brown says, Greg Cotex is doing a web poll on Radio Wars and South. Radio Wars. Sounds like Joey Reynolds all over again. He is looking for your favorite and least favorite host. Please vote and let's crush the QAM. Here's the link. And there's the link. Signed Alan T. Brown, Vice President of Communications. Sports Talk 790 the ticket with his phone number, his email, his shoe size, his size, everything on it. So after the break, I'll give you the final tabulation. And let me say it again. Greg Cotex said it's just for fun. It's not scientific. He says we have built-in safeguards to discourage ballot stuffing, but if either station wants to lobby for votes on air or do whatever they can, so be it. And I noticed that it's closed. The door is closed. The poll is closed. The door is closed. Even the goofball comment lines are closed. So how do you like that? And we kicked their gigantic... There ought to be a line of people at the door right now saying, thank you guys for making those fools across the street look like the clowns that they were there. Wouldn't you agree?
No comment.
Let's get an objective comment from Josh Cordes there. Wouldn't you agree that they ought to be kissing our ass that we single-handedly did this?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they should. And like George said, they don't even know what we're talking about. They don't have a clue. And was my name, other than on the comment line, and like about 95% of those comments, because it was just a peen contest, my name wasn't even on the poll. No. The Neil Rogers Show was purposely not mentioned under the guise that, well, it's not a sports show. Okay, whatever. And still, we grabbed the cudgel, we picked up the ball.
No.
And we did. And we ran with it. And those guys around the rest of the building, they're too worried about whether Clarence can get through the day without an emotional breakdown, about who's going to empty his bag.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
There's a soldier, he's an Israeli. He's got something and it's pointed at me. It's an Uzi. It's an Uzi. It's an Uzi. Oh no, it's an Uzi. It's an Uzi. It's an Uzi. Oh no, it's an Uzi. It's an Uzi. It's an Uzi. Oh no, if he shoots that gun, my life is done. Oh, it's an Uzi that soldier's got. It's an Uzi and I might get shot. Gaza Strip is like a war zone. All we've got is some sticks and some stones. He's got an Uzi, it's an Uzi, it's an Uzi. Oh no, it's an Uzi, it's an Uzi, it's an Uzi. Oh no, it's an Uzi, it's an Uzi, it's an Uzi. Oh no, we better run before he shoots that gun. Oh, it's an Uzi that soldier's got. It's an Uzi and I might get shot. It's an Uzi that soldier's got. It's an Uzi and I might get shot.
I'll tell you what, we'll give you like 100 little pebbles, some stones, and you can either like, you know, skip them off the water, or you can like throw them at us, and then we'll like blow your crap away with an Uzi. How's that?
That's fair.
It sounds kind of like what we did to the other guys in this poll.
Yeah.
So here's the final numbers, okay? Your favorite sports talk host, Jim Mandich, 589. Joe Rose, 462. The Humper, 317. And coming in, holding up the rear as usual, Dan LeBastard, only 226. That is embarrassing. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, least favorite, even more embarrassing, Dan LeBastard, 599. How do you like that? The Humper, 448. Sid the Kid, Rosensteinkrantz, whatever his name is, Berg, 235. And the Big O, who is
rock solid,
only 108. Then the final tabulation, the part that really counted, okay? Your favorite station for sports. WQAM against 790 the ticket. Okay, which one do you like the best? QAM, 10,543 votes. 790 the ticket, 3,012. A very tight race, right down to the end. And then it got to be so embarrassing that they finally shut the whole thing down. A difference of 7,531 votes. Pretty tight, huh?
Yeah.
Even the Bush people couldn't have fixed that election. So there you go, Alan Brown. I'm delighted that you inspired us to get back in this in spite of the I don't wanna guys on our station who are a bunch of wimps. It's okay. Now did Clarence come in there and say, boy, that's really fantastic? Huh?
Huh?
Did Joe Bell come running in there and say, boy, you guys really kicked their ass and congratulations on a fabulous job. Leave it to you guys.
Sorry, I was up in Murray.
Come on. Anybody come in there and like even recognize the audience's fantastic efforts here?
Miguel.
No.
As you mentioned earlier.
No. See, this is why we get depressed. Now, why do you allow me to do that?
I don't know why you get depressed.
Why do I expect that? Why do I expect that?
I don't know. I don't know.
At least Miguel was aware, and that's because Miguel listens to the radio.
Yeah.
WQAM, hello, and owns one. QAM, hello. QAM. We hear you breathing. We hear it gargling. Yeah. WQAM, hello. That was Alan Brown. QAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay.
Hey, is boxing? I guess boxing is a sport, but that's the only thing I watch.
Yeah.
What about just one sport watcher? Kind of lame, huh?
You're only a part-time fag.
All right.
That was George again. See, there goes George with that crap. Well, this guy likes watching guys.
Yeah, George, who asked you?
Yeah, who asked you, your stupid ass?
I watched the Ultimate Fighting Challenge.
What is it?
Yeah, where they kill each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice voice on here.
That is a possibility, though, for the poll if we want to round it out. I'm only into one sport.
Yeah.
It could be water
I watched
sports.
the Ultimate Fighting Challenge. That's not really a sport. It's just a brawl.
Will you listen to me?
No.
Let's just add that on there.
All right.
I'm a one-sport nerd. Or one-sport, whatever. No, that's legitimate.
Sure.
Like this guy, he's only into boxing. Some people are only like cricket
I only
and
watch
crochet.
one sport.
Some people are like only into like wrestling, whatever it might be, backyard wrestling.
Yeah, choose carefully.
WQAM, hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say that you normally say that a lot of women listen. Well, I'm a woman and I listen.
Really?
Yes.
Don't let the word get out.
Okay.
They'll come and drag your ass away. Thanks, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, how do you like that? There's a lady. We got a lady. They're really something, man. Now, I'm sure that they're lined up. They're waving at you saying, yeah, thumbs up, huh?
Right.
Great job, guys. 10,543 to 3,000, and in the newspaper it's going to look like we are just smearing them guys. It's the old smear and schmear. And no recognition. No party, no banners, no balloons, party favors, no nothing, you know? What are those things that... I don't even know if they still use those silly things. Like a whistle. You blow into it and that little thing goes spinning up in the air.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
What do they call those?
I don't know. Party whistles things.
Yeah, party whistle. You blow into it and it like stands up on end.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Noisemakers. No, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Listen,
None of that?
They still don't know that a poll took place somewhere.
Oh, come on.
Nor do
You're
they
funning
care.
us.
No,
you're just trying to be the party people again.
Nor does anyone care what you're saying right now inside this building.
I see. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
The Momeister's new underwater basket weaving class is really good. I think you should...
Okay, good. Just got a tasket. This guy's looking for a basket. There's no question about that. WQAM, hello.
Yes, good morning. I'd like to get on your poll today.
Yes?
Does this have anything to do with movie theaters and disciplining your little guy?
Yeah, there we go with him again. Disciplining your little guy. How about disciplining your ass? How's that? Pathetic.
Huh?
Yeah, this guy's still there, though. That's good after all this time. We're delighted that you're still listening.
Movie theaters.
Yeah. Here, let's get that on there. That's a favorite sport. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Okay.
Neil, did you ever get the movie American Splendor?
No.
I recommend. Oh, you haven't seen it yet, huh?
No.
It's a great
I saw
movie.
The Splendid Splinter, the Ted Williams story.
It's a great movie. Paul Giamatti is great in it. I got another movie I wanted to recommend to you.
Okay.
A Face in the Crowd.
Didn't see it.
With Andy Griffith. It's about media.
Andy Griffith?
No, but wait. It's very applies to today with the media and how a rube can rise to a position of power in the country. Yeah. He's nothing like you see on the TV show. He's like he's a real mean SOB.
Actually, you never saw Andy Griffith and George W. together, so it could be the same guy now that you
mentioned. It could be, but this was like from 1960 with Walter Matthau and
wow.
Pamela Neal. What's her name?
Patricia Neal.
Patricia Neal's in it. It's a great.
I didn't even see it. I know who it is.
A great movie.
I know my Neals.
It's a great movie.
What is it called? A Face in the Crowd.
A Face in the Crowd and American Splendor. I think you would love both of them.
Thanks, pal.
Have a good weekend, Neil.
You too.
Bye-bye.
We love that, whatever it was. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Alan Brown calling in there a couple calls back. Don't take it personal now, Alan. We understand that you're crushed, that your ego's been wounded, that you thought that we were just going to steamroll over a bunch of wimps, and for the most part you would have. But, WQAM, hello.
Hey, George.
I beg your pardon?
Who am I speaking with here?
Who are you calling?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to getting to, I figured Georgia answered the phone.
We don't have any intermediaries on the show, sir. We don't go through that silly ass, where are you calling from, and what's your name, and what's your shoe size. We don't go through that crap.
Well, I was tuning into the low-rated station and shaving, and there was another dispute over the air.
Yeah.
But this time it was OJ between a guest, Mike Francesa. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but apparently A-Rod, Mike Francesa said all of them on the air. And OJ came out with the question of asking A-Rod if, does he get aggravated with the questions when he's not having any success on the field, things like that, because you got hosts, sports show hosts that never played the game, etc., that, criticize and then never played the game. So Francesa came out with the point and says, listen, it's a sports talk show. That's what we do. And OJ just kept talking and pontificating, talking over him. I yelled fast, and he walked out right on the air. And everybody went off the air. Sid went after him, chasing after him. Oh, my God, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
Francesa didn't even come back on the air.
Excellent. Thanks for the good news, pal. Well, a lot of people keep walking out, including the audience on that crap. That O.J. McDuffie. Is he a broadcaster?
No.
Does he belong on the air?
No.
He makes Lenny Martez sound like Walter Cronkite. But other than that. Well, that was mildly amusing. And, of course, George is in a coma now. 657 votes. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd. 214. I have some interest, but not big time. 201. I hate everybody. 56. As in Q. 56. Have the party favors arrived yet? I hate this poll. 35. Total nerd. 35. I hate spectator sports. 33. I love to shower with the guys. 26. I have no interest. 21. I don't wanna. Only for gambling purposes. 15. Is there anything else other than sports? 10. I'm sure that Clarence voted that. I'm a jock sniffer. 8. And I only watch one sport. 3. And I have a feeling we know which one that is.
This is Neil Rogers.
Rectum.
This is 560 QAM.
On Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. He was the first British soldier killed in World War I. He was John Parr. Wait a minute. This was the theme song to an 80s Brat Pack movie. What's this about World War I?
Sorry.
We did a quick internet search, and Wikipedia had a guy named John Parr down as the first British soldier killed in World War I.
Great.
Anyway, we used up the budget before we noticed the mistake. So we got you someone to interview.
Who?
The oldest living relative of John Parr, the first British soldier killed in World War I.
Hello, Sonny. Everything all right, then?
Oh, God.
Well, let's get on with it. Oh, I remember young John Parr.
Yeah. His song was a big hit from the St. Elmo's Fire movie soundtrack. Did he ever mention what it was like meeting Emilio Estevez and Rob Lowe?
Hey, of course, in those days, the butter was rationed.
Oh, man. I imagine he had many stories about Demi Moore and Ali Sheedy.
Oh, now that's a tale to tell.
Really?
Have you seen me teeth? I think I left them with a nice young lady.
Dear Lord. I don't suppose you know. What is St. Elmo's Fire, anyway?
Why, it's a phosphorescent glow produced during a thunderstorm when the air between the clouds and the ground becomes electrically charged. Everybody knows that, you bastard.
John Parr. After that one song, he did die in the pop charts. So I guess that's close enough. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet leg of show business. Tonight, on Inside the Behind.
10:45 at QAM. So anyway, this story, did you see about the deputy shoots airman after 100-mile-hour chase?
Yeah, they were showing it on the news
California?
about 20 times. It's
about 20,000 times.
Outrageous.
This is one of the worst stories I have ever seen in my life, and they're showing the videotape. Even Warren Wolf can't believe it.
Yeah, well, the guy was a Julio, so he had it coming.
Oh, I see. A videotape released Tuesday shows a sheriff's deputy shooting an unarmed Air Force policeman who recently returned from Iraq as he appeared to obey an order to get up off the ground. Get up, and he got up, and okay.
Mm-hmm.
KTLA-TV broadcast, and we've seen it 4,000 times in the last 24 hours, a 40-second clip it said came from a Chino resident who videotaped Sunday night's shooting, which followed a 100-mile-an-hour car chase, which, by the way, he wasn't driving. Senior Airman Elio Carrion, 21, was listed in good condition at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center in Colton. He was shot 3 times in the chest, ribs, and leg, his father-in-law, Ernesto Paz, told KTLA. Remember that song, Shoot 3 Times? Remember that?
Yep.
Tony Orlando.
And Don.
State and federal investigators are reviewing the case. Carry-On was a passenger in a Corvette that crashed following a brief chase. Amateur photographer Jose Luis Valdez told the AP that he made the video after the car crashed into the wall in front of his home. KTLA airtaped the videotape early Tuesday, then distributed it later in the day. The dark, rainy picture shows Carry-On lying on the ground next to the car, talking to a silhouetted officer who was pointing a gun at him. You know what kind of luggage he brings with him when he travels, by the way?
Samsonite?
Carry-On.
Oh.
Carry-On supports himself on one arm, and his face is brightly lit by the officer's flashlight. Carry-On is heard telling the officer he's unarmed, he's in the military. At one point, a voice is heard saying several times, "Get up, get up." Carry-On says, "I'm going to get up." As he rises, at least 4 shots are fired, and Carry-On collapses, crying out in pain. Shots fired, somebody shouts. In a telephone interview conducted in Spanish, Valdez said after the shooting, Carry-On asked the deputy, "Why did you shoot me if you told me to stand up?" The alleged exchange cannot be heard on the video. The deputy, whose name was not released, was placed on paid administrative leave, a routine procedure in officer-involved shootings. Carry-On wasn't charged with a crime, although the incident remained under investigation, according to Sheriff spokesman Robert Haynall. The driver of the Corvette, identified by authorities as Luis Fernando Escobedo, 21, was arrested for investigation of felony evading. Carry-On and Escobedo had left a party at the home of Carry-On's parents to drive to a store, said the airman's wife, Mariela. A woman who answered the telephone at the Montclair home of Carry-On's parents said they were headed to the hospital. Nobody wanted to talk. They were mum. An Air Force spokesman, Lieutenant Frank Hartnett, I wonder if he's kin to Gabby Hartnett.
Or Josh Hartnett.
Said Carry-On is a security officer at Barksdale Air Force Base in Shreveport, Louisiana. Carry-On joined the Air Force in January 2003. Recently returned from a 6-month tour in Iraq, Hartnett said. This is a guy that went over there and risked his life for his country. At least he was told he was doing that. Put his life on the line. He comes back to L.A. and bada bing, 4 shots. Because I guess he didn't get up fast enough, or because maybe he did get up.
Right.
Chino's about 40 miles east of Los Angeles. Isn't that the kind of pants you wear to work, Chinos?
Every day.
It was a silly-ass facts.
About that movie somebody just...
Facing the Crowd. Okay? Do I really want to read this or what?
No, it's just, put it aside.
No, I don't want to do that. I want to get to it right now or forget about it. I noticed that whoever sent this magic markered their name out on top. Boy, this is a regular faxer, by the way. I can tell by what says iodine on the top. Remember the other day when it smelled like iodine in here and it turned out my computer was frying? That was not good.
Yeah.
Watch out for that worm, by the way. The worm is turning. We'll get to that later. It's not doing anything, but the worm is turning. A face in the crowd. This is an Amazon.com editorial review. More timely now, perhaps, than when it was first released in '57, Elia Kazan's overheated political melodrama explores the dangerous, manipulative power of pop culture. It exposes the underside of Capricorn populism and as exemplified in the optimistic fable of grassroots punditry Meet John Doe. In Kazan's account, scripted by Bud Schulberg, the common man pontificator Andy Griffith is no Gary Cooper-style aw-shucks paragon, promoted to national fame as a folksy TV idol by radio producer Patricia Neal. Griffith's Larry Lonesome Rhodes turns out to be a megalomaniac, maniacal rat bastard. The film turns apocalyptic as Rhodes exploits his power to sway the masses, helping to elect a reactionary presidential candidate. Oh, a right-wing reactionary. The parodies of television commercials and opinion polling were cutting edge in their day. Facing the Crowd was the network of the Eisenhower era, and there are some startling near-documentary sequences shot on location in Arkansas. An extraordinary supporting cast, led by Walter Matthau and Lee Remick, helps keep the energy level high, even when the satire turns shrill and unpersuasive in the final reel. There's an interesting parallel in Tim Robbins' snide pseudo-documentary Bob Roberts. Both these pictures have almost as much contempt for lemmings in the audience as for the manipulative monsters who herd them over the cliff. Well, I can understand that.
All right.
People are sheep, the masses are asses, etc., and so on. That's good.
Sounds interesting.
Nothing wrong with Bob Robbins. That was good. Remember that in the end? Oh, and by the way, Donnie Darko, he dies in the end.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
687 votes on our poll. Oh, there you go. There's that whole deal about Scooter Libby. Trial date next to January 7th of 2007, long after the off-year elections, those midterms. Because then you'll be safe. Then we find out that Karl Rove was into it up to his armpits, and Bush and Cheney and all these other crooked goyim. Duke Cunningham. Duke. How much of a sports nerd are you? Don't we have that bit, or I just dreamed that we did that?
What bit?
Duke Cunningham. Huh?
I don't know.
We do have that bit.
We don't have it. There it is.
Okay, I'm going to play that. Well, I haven't played it enough, because we don't hear anything about any more of that. You know what I'm saying? We keep hearing all this other baloney about the big Bush comeback. His approval rating is only 39% now, but the big comeback's coming in. And, yeah, right. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd. 224. You bastards. 696 vote. I have some interest, but not big time. 214. I hate everybody. 62. I'm a total nerd. 37. Most of those from inside our building and across the street. I hate this pool. 36. I hate spectator sports. 33. I love to shower with the guys. 28. I have no interest, 23. Only for gambling purposes, 15. Is there anything else other than sports, 10. I'm a jock sniffer, 8. And I only watch one sport, 6. Almost 700 vote already. Taking it and turned it right around. Now, you know, and wouldn't you think, no, you wouldn't think, I'm sorry. See, I continue being stupid. I continue being stupid because parents keeps taking you aside and having these heart-to-heart chats about, you know, Neil and about what are we doing wrong and why is he pissed off and hate me like poison. And then you explain it to them and then they just continue being indifferent and oblivious, you know? And he gives you a song to dance about an email that I evidently got a half of. They seem to be having some email problems both in sending and receiving in that station now. The one email I sent, they never got, and the other one, I get 2 lines from it. Even the fat-ass governor's daughter can do better than 2 lines. Without even trying, with her hands tied behind her back. That's sad. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. The telegrams are coming in of congratulations. Nice going, you guys at QM. You stuck it to Alan Downtown Brown and also Joel Feinberg and his daddy's money over there across the street. Trying to put you guys down. Alan Brown. WQAM, hello. Line 1, mark it down. WQAM, hello.
QAM.
Yep.
Okay, ready? Leave, watch sports to avoid my wife and children.
Uh-huh.
That's what strip clubs are for, man.
He only watches sports to avoid his family.
Mm-hmm.
We're not putting that on there, but we understand. Now, see, there's something for you, George. Start thinking about it. A lot of hot sports bars, man.
That's what strip clubs are for.
Oh.
Adultery.
WQAM, hello.
on Biscayne.
Hello, Neil?
QAM. Yes.
Neil, I was thinking when you were talking about that movie, The Brokeback Mountain, they should have probably named that one Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Yeah. There's an old cocker that just wants a little pat on the head, and you're making all kinds of sounds, you know?
I was laughing. Those were
no,
laughing
you were not.
sounds.
You were laughing at him. You were like saying, boy, how pathetic. And I was thinking pretty much the same thing. 5670560. That guy's got on his mind too much, you know. Just get away from that area, you know. Start moving to other areas. That's it. Get away from that damn area. WQAM, hello.
Neil, good morning.
Buenas to you.
Good job single-handedly smoking 790 yesterday.
I smited him, man.
You smote him. Yeah, you smote him.
We smate him.
Hey, Neil, did you happen to read that piece on February 1st that Robert Steinbeck put in the Herald?
About? I think we put it on our website. About what?
Yeah. I didn't check the website. Avoiding the hard questions.
Yeah. I think I put it on there, I believe.
Okay. I
Josh could verify because he remembers each story intimately.
I think you might have put it on there, I believe.
Yeah, we put it on there.
Okay. Hey, Neil, whatever happened with Ariel Sharon, huh?
Hey, good question, man. Last time he was reaching for a bagel with lox and cream cheese and saying,
I'm dying over here.
That's the last we heard, man.
Exactly. Keep up the good work, Neil.
Thanks. Isn't that amazing? I mean, most people don't think about it because they don't want to think about it because the media gets you whipped up about the coal miners one day and about some car crash the next day and then about this poor soldier that got shot for no reason out in L.A., and of course the chick in Aruba and the guy over there on. We also don't hear any more about the guy that disappeared off that cruise ship that they got everybody whipped up day after day. MSNBC, that was like their solamente. That was their only topic.
Right.
But, God, why would we hear any more about Ariel Sharon now that Hamas has won the elections overwhelmingly with the Palestinians? Oh, we don't like that. We're not going to do business with you. We wanted those free democratic elections, baby. We let the people vote. It was wonderful. It was a great democratic experience. Nobody even suggested that it was fixed or anything like that, which there's nothing worse than a rigged fixed election. And all of a sudden, we don't like it. It's kind of like our sports guys. We don't want to. Yeah, but come on and participate with us. Let's work for peace. We don't want to. We don't like you guys. You don't want to recognize Israel, and of course all them Getchkis over there and all them right-wingers. They got to support Israel because Armageddon's coming, man. And believe you me, if this crowd stays in there, it won't be long either.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Oh, I'm a crooked old turd. Republican slob, you cunning hay. Another tasty white fat butt, and a moralist Christian crooked smoke. Oh, for mansion shots and toilets, I put my card in military contracts. Yes, I'm that Duke, honey, and I lost all I had in this world. My life is in ruins. I'm heading for the tombs. Like all neocon bush punks, pointed by Jesus. So gonna miss that toilet. And God, I guess I wasn't all that cunning for the cunning to cunning
Oh no, I stepped on that at the end there. Little rattlesnake. 11 o'clock at 560 WQAM. Happy Friday to you. Oh, I'm printing out this. It's long, man. It's a little from The Guardian. I'm not going to read it, though. Just a little bit, just a tease. Tony Blair told President George Bush that he was solidly behind U.S. plans to invade Iraq before he sought advice about the invasion's legality and despite the absence of a second UN resolution, according to a new account of the build-up to the war published today, says The Guardian. A memo of a two-hour meeting between the two leaders at the White House on January 31st, 2003, nearly 2 months before the invasion, reveals that Mr. Bush made it clear the U.S. intended to invade whether or not there was a second UN resolution, and even if UN inspectors found no evidence of a banned Iraqi weapons programming. How do you like that? Should I read that last sentence again? Reveals that Mr. Bush made it clear that the U.S. intended to invade whether or not there was a second UN resolution, and even if UN inspectors found no evidence of a banned Iraqi weapons program. So I guess Richard Clark and Paul O'Neill, I guess they were all lying, huh?
Cheese.
The diplomatic strategy had to be arranged around the military planning, the President told Mr. Blair. The Prime Minister is said to have raised no objection. He's quoted as saying he was... We should have put him on that poll about no self-respect, Tony Blair.
Absolutely.
He's quoted as saying he was solidly with the President, ready to do whatever it took to disarm Saddam. The disclosures came in a new edition of Lawless World by Philip Sands, a professor of international law at University College in London. Professor Sands, who's no relation to Tommy Sands, who had a teenage crush on Capitol Records. Professor Sands last year exposed the doubts shared by Foreign Office lawyers about the legality of the invasion in disclosures which eventually forced the Prime Minister to publish the full legal advice given to him by Attorney General Lord Goldsmith. The memo seen by Professor Sands reveals... Mr. Bush told Mr. Blair that the U.S. was so worried about the failure to find hard evidence against Saddam that it thought of flying U-2 reconnaissance aircraft planes with fighter cover over Iraq painted in UN colors. Mr. Bush added if Saddam fired on them, it would be a breach of UN resolutions. You see that? They were trying to bait him. Mr. Bush even expressed the hope that a defector would be extracted from Iraq and give him a public presentation about Saddam's WMD. He's also said to have referred Mr. Blair to a small possibility that Saddam will be assassinated. Mr. Blair told the U.S. President that a second UN resolution would be an insurance policy providing international cover, including with the Arabs, if anything went wrong with the military campaign, or if Saddam increased the stakes by burning oil wells, killing children, or fomenting internal divisions within Iraq. And Mr. Bush told the Prime Minister that he thought it unlikely there would be internecine warfare between the different religious and ethnic groups. Oh, why would that happen? Mr. Blair did not demur, according to the book. Oh, yeah. In other words, Mr. Blair just said, whatever you say, Georgie. The revelation that Mr. Blair had supported the U.S. President's plans to go to war with Iraq, even in the absence of a second UN resolution, contrasts with the assurances the Prime Minister gave Parliament shortly afterward. On February 25, 2003, 3 weeks after his trip to Washington, Mr. Blair told the Commons that the government was giving Saddam one further final chance to disarm voluntarily. Liar. Liar, liar, your top hat's on fire, you phony baloney. You quisling, you simpleton. Tony Blair, my ass. God. 5670560. We got a lot of votes on that poll today, man. Scooter Libby trial will start January 8th, 2007. Mark it down. That is, unless Bush blows the whole world up before then. 723. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd. 236. Do we believe them?
No.
I have some interest, but not big time. 222. I hate everybody. 64. And we don't blame you. I hate this poll. 38. Total nerd. 38. I hate Spectator Sports, 34. I love to shower the guys.
About 30, man.
It's going to get almost as crowded in there as that closet with Tom Cruise and R. Kelly and John Travolta. I have no interest, 25. Only for gambling purposes, 15. It was kind of getting crowded at the Virgin Mary's and that other one, too, on South Park.
That's always a popular draw.
Bloody idiots. Is there anything else besides sports, 11? I only watch one sport, 10, and I'm a jock sniffer. Rancid. 9 out of 732. And I hear a fax creeping over right now. Can't you hear it?
I hear it.
Can't you hear my heartbeat?
It's a good one, too.
I bet you he's dead now. He's probably not. Peter Noon. Could he sing? Or
No.
And that music was okay. It was fun.
It was fun.
It wasn't really music. It was just fun. No milk today. Remember that? Here's one that says... Yeah, right. What a joke. Talk about trying to rationalize desperately with their logo on it. Dear Neil Rogers, everyone here at 790 would like to thank you for the 4 hours of free advertising give our station every single day. Keep up the great work, thanks. The staff at Sports Talk 790 The Ticket. This is their response. Guess what? We could put up 4,000 billboards. It still wouldn't help because when they hear it the first time, it goes in the off position or AOP, any other position. This is their rationalization. This is one hell of a comeback, isn't it?
Yeah, well.
Thank you for the free promotion, yeah. Your mama. It's okay. We understand you're licking your wounds over there and probably licking each other, Stugatz. But these are a bunch of rejects. These are mostly people, except for Joe Rose, who got bounced out of our place and who couldn't get a job at a real station if their life depended on it. If they went and did a hold-up, they couldn't get a job. So that's fine, you know, Stugatz. I put Stugatz in the Lenny Martez category, only we like Lenny. Speaking of radio, which is something they know nothing about, serious shock. Pirates hit the Howard Stern show. Now, you're going to be very depressed when you hear this, because I know you're a big Howard booster.
Oh, yeah, booster.
Sirius Satellite Radio, Inc., which liberated radio shock jock Howard Stern from the federal decency standards that he had felt shackled him, is finding that freedom is just another word for $500 million to lose. Remember that song? Freedom is just another
Don't make me think of Janice.
Since January 9th, when Stern debuted on Sirius, pirated versions of the shows have been made available for free via several online file-sharing networks just hours after Stern signs off. The New York-based broadcaster signed to a 5-year, $500 million contract in 2004. Oh, God, just shoot her already. Get out of her misery.
Oh, she is.
I know. Now Sirius is, in a word, furious. Sirius is furious. We don't condone the stealing of Howard's show or any of the content on our more than 125 channels, Sirius spokesman Patrick Riley said. We vigorously protect our intellectual property rights and will actively prosecute those who attempt to steal it. If I can just backtrack, it's really interesting. The other guys there down the street, they got together with Greg Cotex and they found the excuse not to put my name in this poll, assuming that, he won't pay any attention to this, and as a result we'll ramrod over them and make it look in the newspaper like we got an audience, like we're kicking their ass. Little did they know. Anyway, it is not known how many Stern fans are sidestepping Sirius's $12.95 a month subscription fee by illegally downloading a show, because most hardcore fans are used to listening to the show in their cars. Presumably many of them would subscribe rather than wait till they're in front of a computer screen. And there's no question that Stern's been good for Sirius, which added 1.1 million subscribers in last quarter of 2005. The company, which is behind industry leader XM Redneck Satellite Radio, reports 3.3 million listeners and expects to reach 6 million by the end of this year. But ever since Stern traded the terrestrial airwaves for satellite, fans of his frequent interviews with porn stars have found ways to tune into the self-proclaimed king of all media for free. A few weeks ago, when the first pirate radio stations began rebroadcasting Stern's show on unclaimed radio frequencies in New York and Jersey, Sirius immediately notified the Enforcement Bureau of the FCC, the very body against which Stern is so frequently railed. The FCC in 2004 cited Stern's show on Clear Channel for repeated graphic and explicit sexual descriptions, as we all well know. Your mama. Sirius also moved quickly to crack down on websites that streamed audio broadcasts of the Stern show. The broadcaster sent cease and desist letters protesting such blatant and willful infringements and threatening to sue unless the underground broadcasters went silent immediately, if not sooner. But as each one shut down, it seemed like another one sprang up. One shuts down over here, and then another one pops up over there. It's like zits. Stern referred a request for an interview to Sirius on Wednesday, but he has raised the piracy issue on his show with a subtlety that's not his usual forte. Walking a very fine line, Stern has praised the renegade spirit that drives some fans to refuse to pay for what they used to get for free, and he's pleaded with folks just to pay 42 cents a day. Please. Just as the rock band Metallica experienced when it first came out against illegal downloads of its music, Stern risks sparking a backlash. After all, this is the man who built his in-your-face persona around flogging federal regulators, who he claimed were the enemies of creative expression. It is kind of ironic that now that he and his people are going to the FCC. Wait, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that. I thought he was anti the FCC. I thought he thought the FCC was like a pariah and on Mariah. There already are signs that after dishing out criticisms for so long, Stern better get ready to take it. It says, Mr. Freedom of Speech himself, Mr. $500 million has ordered me to shut down my personal website that some people stumbled upon, wrote the operator of yada, 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 according to Rocky Mountain News. The site made Stern show available for free, but with a disclaimer that only Sirius subscribers should use it. BayTSP, a Los Gatos firm in California that only monitors online piracy for the entertainment industry, found digital audio files of every episode of Stern Sirius show on every major file-sharing network. It's going to impact the Sirius radio subscribers market, said Mark Ishikawa, BayTSP chief executive. Why would you pay $13 a month when you can get what you want from the Internet for free? Although no one can know the total number of Stern Steelers. Oh, Steelers, Super Bowl, George. There you go, Steelers.
Sorry?
It is clear that Stern is a runaway hit among file sharers. His shows are more popular than the TV show Gilmore Girls, and just behind Fox's The Simpsons, said Eric Garland, CEO of Big Champagne, an online media measurement firm in Los Angeles. They measure it. The proliferation of sites offering Stern shows for free is an unintended result of Sirius's consumer-friendly technology. Home adapter kits designed so customers can plug their Sirius radio tuners in their home stereo systems can just as easily be connected to a pewter. There, anyone with the right piece of software can convert the show to a digital audio file that can be redistributed online. Sirius warned investors about the threat of piracy in a recent filing with the SEC. It noted that although it uses encryption to foil those who would try to listen to its broadcast without paying, those protections might not always prevent theft. If such bootlegging became widespread, it could harm our business, the company acknowledged. But a little unauthorized exposure might not be all bad for Stern, whose curly-haired mug recently graced the cover of Esquire and New York magazines. Industry analysts say people who hear Stern's show on their computer might enjoy it so much they'll end up subscribing. Without the illegal downloads, it could be argued, Stern runs the risk of being out of earshot, out of mind. Oh, my. Where did we hear that before? My view is that the more exposure, the better, said Jeff Pollock, CEO of Pollock Media Group. If I find content very compelling, I might say, wow, I sure want to be able to catch that every day. But then again, Pollock said with a laugh, I wasn't the one who signed the check. The folks who do sign the checks and will do so for the foreseeable future aren't laughing. Pirated broadcasts are a lousy way to listen to Howard. Sirius, as Riley said. The best way is through a Sirius subscription. Some longtime Stern fans agree. When it comes down to it, if you're a true Howard fan, if you want to support his endeavor, said Poke Lieu of Irvine, a Sirius subscriber, if you want him around for 5 years, you'll pay the $13. So there you go. All right, how do you like that? You all whipped up into a frenzy about it?
Huh?
How'd that poll come out? 5, 6, and by the way, thanks for all the caustic mentions on the comment line. We're supposed to be a 790 poll, too, even though most of them were from inside our building. 5670560. Boy, that Alan Brown, man, very touchy over there across the street. Very nervous. Oh, gee, it blew up in our face. Well, we better give him a little stuff back. Yeah. Right. Probably even that fax came from inside our building, you know? Could be. Probably that's what Clarence is doing right now. That was his project for today. What do we got on that poll? We're going to go, 750. We got 1,000 beat with your hands tied behind your back.
Well, good.
WQAM, hello.
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 Neil.
Yes.
How you doing, buddy?
All right, Pally.
Listen, I want to say something first. What's his name calls you the 900-pound gorilla? You're the alpha male 900-pound gorilla.
The what?
Mandich calls you that, the 900.
Yeah, that's all. And what was your comeback? I'm the what?
You're alpha male of the 900-pound gorillas.
Okay.
I just said you're the best.
Uh-huh.
Hey, listen, have you ever heard that show Mike Malloy on Scare America?
Never heard of him.
Oh, because he does a show late at night, and he does all right. You know, he's pretty good, but they've been having some technical difficulties lately over there.
Well, we wouldn't be able to relate to that.
Well, theirs are worse. They cut into a commercial break, then they have another commercial break over that, and there's a part where they disappear from the air and they put on this music that they play, and I don't even think they know what's going on over there.
Kind of sounds like when we carried the Stern Show here on QAM, you know, when we had like with the music playing in the back and all the that stuff. Kind of sounds like us. When it comes to technical difficulties, we are the last ones to point fingers about that. We might stick a finger or two here or there, but okay. Listen, have a great day, pal. I gotta go. Gotta run. You got to run? 14 past 11, we got Curtis at 2. Eddie K for the Mad Dog at 4 from the Bank Atlantic Yenta Center. To give that big build-up for the Panther game. We love the Panthers. That Jacques a Frog. Yeah. Panther preview at 7 o'clock. The Panthers and the Atlanta Trashers at 7:30. Atlanta, one kick-ass team, man. And Lenny Martez and Troy after the game.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QA.
Rogers.
Ah.
Like a broke-back cowboy, I'm riding all day long, and sometimes it's on a horse. Like a broke-back cowboy, I'm walking kind of funny, and it ain't from saddle sore. The sheep ain't the only ones on all fours.
Rectum.
Like a broke-back cowboy. Howdy, partner, tell me how's the view back there? Like a broke-back cowboy. There's a reason why chaps don't cover the derriere. I'm a homo on the range, I swear.
You fairy.
Like a broke-back cowboy.
Well, that Glenn Campbell, man, he's just really great. Let's talk about the Beach Boys and Bruce Johnston and yada yada and Brian Wilson and his teddy bear. Come on.
His what bear?
Those were the days. Those were really the days. Weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what the hell do you know about it? You were like a child.
That's right. I still like the
music.
music.
You remember about the Beach Boys and the Beatles and Ed Solomon?
I caught up, which is more than most people might.
Well, that's true. Like your partner in crime over there across the desk. He sure ain't catching up.
He's, little by little. Baby
very, very tiny baby steps. Little teeny tiny baby steps. He didn't even know who the hell Bruce Johnston is. Isn't he the guy who used to be quarterback for the Bucks?
The what?
He was a quarterback for the Bucks when they went to the Stupid Bowl.
Brad.
Well, same thing.
B.
Johnson, man. B. Johnson.
That's right.
That's what they say over there across the street. We B. Johnson it. 769 votes. See, I was thinking to myself during the break, you know, that long email I sent Tuesday night that evidently didn't go through, or at least it got lost somewhere in the etheric out there to our general manager.
Maybe it got bounced.
Yeah. Whatever I said in there, multiply times 2. 5670560, pound 560 in the variety. In other words, the crossover with Hank is fun. See, whether people like Hank or not, at least there's some fun involved, and the Beast is yucking it up, and we're having a little bit of fun. But the sports element of it, it's not fun. It's painful, man. You want to, grind your teeth from it. Talk about a bunch of hard-ass people take themselves too serious. Good God. And that story in Very Jackass this morning, I find that extremely, just astonishing. Here it is. It's the 3rd of February. Is next week going to be like the 3rd week of this 2 to 4 revolving door? Is that going to be it? Because I see the schedule already. 3rd week, right? Or is it 4th? Whatever it is.
We should have marked it on the calendar.
Yeah. And they're just getting around to talking to Mad Dog about doing it. In other words, we still don't know what we're doing in there. What's the one word I'm always telling you about radio and television, broadcasting in general? You know what people like? It's like the thing with Dan Rather. I watched CBS Evening News for 100 years. Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather. Then the minute that they put on Okie Dokie Bob Schieffer, I watched it one night and I never turned it back on again. Consistency, that's the word. Write it on your elbow, okay? Write it down on your arm all the way down your armpit to your waist. Consistency.
I'll write it in permanent pen. Get it?
Good. Get that magic marker and make it darker.
I got the one that I can sniff.
Good. Darker than Dave Parker. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular wireless line. Consistency. And, of course, we are consistent and consistent because we ain't figured it out yet. Well, we got some confused people. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What'd you think of Shaq Daddy's game last night?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
WQAM, hello.
Hi, Jack.
WQAM, hello.
I am the magician. Would you like to see my magic wand?
5670560. Oh, that must have been Senior Wenches. Look at that phone, man. Dead as a doornail. Just absolutely motionless. Former NFL star Larry Zonka, who hosts the cable television outdoor show, pleaded guilty Wednesday to illegal filming on national forest lands. Now, even Josh knows Larry Zonka. You know Zonk.
You kidding? Yeah.
Now, what's the show you get zonked on? Was that Let's Make a Deal?
Sorry.
With Monty Hall?
You got me.
I'm asking George. I wouldn't expect you to know that. Good Canadian boy, Monty Hall. Good Jewish Canadian boy with billions of dollars.
Let's Make a Deal since...
But you got zonked. Didn't you get a zonk?
I don't know. Is that what happened when you got the booby prize?
Yeah, the booby prize. You got zonked.
Wah.
That's it. Like they played for me at the Macarena that one time in a hockey game. Because I was bitching out for a prime. That's it. That's what they played. They put my puss in from the crowd on the screen, and they played exactly that. There's that guy's always crying and boning about that. And, of course, the Panthers stunk, and they still do. As part of a plea agreement with federal prosecutors, Zonka pleaded guilty to knowingly conducting work activity in a national forest without obtaining a special use permit. Come on, Zonk. Not another one of these ex-Dolphin guys. Well, at least he didn't kill anybody. Zonk agreed to pay $3,800 in restitution for filming about 10 shows on U.S. Forest Service land, said U.S. Attorney Jim Geek. At a sentencing April 19, Geek said prosecutors will request a sentence of probation for 1 year and a $5,000 fine. Zonka couldn't be reached for comment. Zonka is host of Napa's North to Alaska, with Johnny Horton, I bet's on there, too, and probably Tim Horton. Billed is a show on fishing, hunting, history, and customs that explores a new area of Alaska each week, and maybe even Nathan Horton from the Panthers. We love the Panthers. They're kicking ass, don't we? The show appears on the Outdoor Life Network. Oh, the Outdoor Life Network, speaking of hockey. See that great tie in there? There's John Davidson on there with Doc Emmerich. Gets paid by the syllable, John Davidson. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Zonk admitted that his production company, Zonk Productions, see, I told you, in August 2002, filmed an episode of what was then called Stills North to Alaska along the Blind River area on Mitkoff Island, the Tongass National Forest, and yada, yada, yada. Well, whatever. So they stepped over the line a little bit. Big stinking deal, okay? We like Larry Zonka a lot, okay? He ran like an old lady with her legs tied together, but they couldn't bring his fat ass down, man. He just kept rumbling on through that line. Good old Larry Zonka and Jim. He was kicking it old style, Jim Kick, wasn't he?
Huh?
Those were the days, man. And Bob Greasy there with them like glasses with the windshield wipers on them. Speaking of greasy, how's your quarterback Brian Greasy? 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line, a day that they're going to require a lot of beating, and you want to know why they're exhausted. We wore the audience out yesterday. Flagellated them.
Right. Wore out their
voting
fingers.
and voting and emailing and going out and knocking on doors and signing petitions and just kicking the other guy's ass and embarrassing and degrading and humiliating Alan T. Downtown Brown.
They probably have an ace bandage around their clicking finger.
Around the whole building. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen Nathan Horton and Jen Herrera, the girl who does the traffic on Channel 10 in the morning, standing by each other?
Same person. Same person. Good point. WQAM, hello.
I want to be on the radio.
I'll tell you what, go across the street, they'll put you on to give you your own show. How's that? 5670560, pound 560. Every couple of days he tries it again, and every couple of days with the same result. And no life.
I have no life.
And he's got that broad there that's like, wiping off his forehead with a moist sponge.
Yeah, that's what she's wiping.
Rectum. WQAM, hello.
Neil, did you see the thing I sent you about Canadians?
WQAM, hello.
Hiya, Sarah.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Are you a real caller or just another agent provocateur, man?
No, I'm a real amateur. I'm a real caller, man.
You're a real amateur caller? Okay, what do you got?
What was the final score, man? I just tuned in of the QM Gorillas against the Waxy Ducks.
WQAM 10,543. The ticket 3,012. We only beat them by
all right, we got to tell those ducks to quack a couple of times since they'll be listening to the show.
Okay, send them some quackers. Probably you're eating quackers right now. What do you got for full Monday? You're going to have like John the Baker bringing pizza and all kinds of Italian good stuff, right?
That's right.
And you had melting pots this week. Boy, I'm going to tell you, what a life. See, that's why Josh wants to continue on the show even for free, which is, by the way, one of the worst. That is such a slap in all of our face, I can't even begin to tell you that. But don't bother me, Clarence. I don't want to talk to you. But anyway, because all the free meals, just the free food alone is worth thousands of dollars.
Not to mention that check that comes every 3 months. Yeah.
Right. Well, you could still do the website. I mean, even, worst to well, we don't want to lose you on the show, but I mean, worst comes to worst, you're not going to get screwed over on that. They don't even have to know about that.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with what you're doing there now, because you're working for free. And, of course, even before, if they make you a new deal, you were still basically when you, working for free.
Yeah.
That's the Beasley effing way, man. The little people, the people that work their asses off, the people that are the nuts and bolts, baby, the people that put all the pieces of the puzzle together, those people get screwed big time. And then those old fat Jews, man, they get all the money. They get those big, big fat checks, and once in a while, even on time.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Friday, you bastard.
If you're a mighty big star who's known for crashing cars and snorting stuff up your nose,
y'all know who you are.
You got an eating disorder and you punched a reporter and there's a picture of you with no clothes. Oops. Well, you're wanted by the cops and your last movie flopped. And why did you color your hair? Before the paparazzi get you, you've got to get your picture on the cover of Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. Gonna get your picture on the cover. Blame it all on your stage mother. Yep. Gonna do some damage control on the cover of Vanity Fair.
It's all your PR guy's idea.
On the cover of Vanity Fair.
Oh, look at that. The NASA Inspector General Center investigation. Not another crook. Not another thief stealing your money.
Faker.
Speaking of flushing your money down the toilet like it came out of a sieve somewhere, like it came out of a Farrah faucet, the White House said yesterday it plans to ask Congress for an additional $70 billion to pay for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, driving the cost of military operations in the two countries to $120 billion this year. The Iraq war, the headline on this, is costing $100,000 a minute. And you folks are footing the bill for it. So even if you don't care, and obviously most Americans don't care about all the innocent people dying on both sides, all the sides, $100,000 a minute. Even Josh ain't making that much, even in his new deal.
Maybe soon.
The additional spending, along with other war funding the Bush administration will seek separately in its regular budget next week, would push the price tag for combat and nation building since 9/11 to nearly $500 billion. Currently, the Defense Department says it is spending about $4.5 billion a month on the war in Iraq, or about $100,000 per minute. Current spending in Afghanistan is about $800 million a month, or about $18,000 a minute. So $118,000 a minute. Have we got Osama yet?
No.
Mullah Omar?
No.
Al-Zawahiri?
No.
No. How about Al-Zarqawi? We got him yet?
No.
No. We got Al Goldstein. Somebody ought to make a billboard. They got Al Goldstein, but they can't get Al-Qaeda and all the other Als. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
They butchered his life up because he was a pornographer, a slut, and a government knocker, and told it like it was, and fat. But then anybody else who's the mortal enemy, well, it's hard work. It's hard work. They blew it, baby, right there at Tora Bora. Is there a song that goes like that? Tora Bora. How's that song go? Something like that. Tora Bora.
Lura?
Yeah, Laura. I'd like to hear that to the tune of Laura, Tora Bora. There you go, Brian. And clean up your act, by the way, okay? I'm getting tired of Clarence having a nervous snip because you keep putting all this vulgarity in all these bits. Well, what's wrong with him?
I done told him.
See, I think what happened is just like I did. He got the green light there, but he never got the red light back again. Remember, I had the green light for 2 days, and then, gee, Joyce said, that. That's probably why they're not, talking to me anymore, responding. They're just ignoring, totally.
What?
Exactly. No, you're right. Let's lay it right out there on the table right now. Mark it down. February 3rd, 2006. We are a means to an end for this radio station. They have nothing to do with this show.
No.
They're more than delighted to take those numbers and to take the revenue that comes not just here, but all through the day because of them. They're ecstatic about that. But as far as the rest of us, we're all a pain in the ass, especially me, and they don't want nothing to do with it. Other than saying, Joyce said you can't do this. Yeah. Other than that. So please, don't even put on an act. They don't even say you're doing a heck of a job, Brownie Hound. Don't even say that. Like with that poll result. No, seriously. We made them look like untrained monkeys across the street. And the ironic part of it is I couldn't give in spite of what they think, I couldn't give a crap less about that station. I don't never listen to it. I don't care about it. Our competition isn't that station. I keep trying to explain that to the sports nerds inside our building. Our competition is IOD and INZ, Scare America. Al Franken and Catherine Lamper. That's our competition because we do a talk show, not a sports show. So what the hell do we care about those people?
I don't know.
But if you have just a little teeny tiny bit of pride in where you work, and believe me, it's not easy, just a little bit, you want to squash the other guys no matter what the format is. What the hell it's all about? It's like when I went on WINZ and W Snooze was there with that contrived Jerry Helpman Channel 10 show, that phony thing with Dwight Lauderdale back when he had the mustache. And they got the audience stacked there with all the W Snooze people, Lou Crone and John Levitt and Tom Don't Like Us with his silly black leather jacket and all that crowd of losers. And then the next book comes out and we just crushed their ass. You know what the Tom Don't Like Us had? A 3-point. Oh. We had a 7 on INZ with a nighttime signal. I wouldn't wish on Stalin, Hitler, and Mao Zedong together. Mao Zedong. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? No, but I like it because it's all true. It's all true. It's always been the same thing, man.
You go, girl.
I'm not into people kissing your ass. I'm not looking for that, but just at least a little recognition that we accomplished something here for everybody, for the team. We took one for the team, baby, and they took one across the street for the team, right up the.
Rectum.
That's right, right up the old chute. In fact, that's probably what they were saying when they saw those poll results. Shoot. And it's closed, by the way, now. You can't diddle with it. You can't send any more daisy chain emails out. You're done. You're done, Alan T. Downtown Silly-Ass Brown. Done. And you know as well as I do that without this email, I wouldn't have even paid any more time. I wasn't even looking at it.
Right.
I didn't care about it no more.
Well, I'm sorry I sent it to you.
No, you're
I'm
not.
just kidding. I know. That would give us something to do for a day.
Gave us a hell of an excitement, man. The excitement all over the North America. I could feel the tremors in the globe all the way here. Like the aftershocks of this tremendous wampum that we gave them.
Wampum?
And they're sending me and thanks for all the free public. You know what? Gornish Telfin, baby. Yeah. Gornish Telfin, Joel Feinberg, he'll understand that. In fact, that's probably what he's saying. And by the way, for the Chronic in Cocoa Beach, I recognize you're printing we've only had 40,000 faxes from the same misfit who alternately between kissing our ass and then ripping us, and it can't make up its mind, whatever it is. Like you're fooling somebody with this Rosen and Rosen. See, I got such a photographic memory. Even I remember that. And, of course, having relatives named Rosen don't help. Don't hurt. With a lot of money. Judge sets trial for Libby in CIA leak. I also had a Aunt Libby, too, on my father's side.
Did you?
Crazy bitch went off to Israel. Oy vey. See how it all ties in together? I bet you don't have anybody. Although Libby does make a hell of a tomato juice.
I lived in Libby. That's the town in Montana.
Libby, Montana?
That I lived in, and I had a girlfriend named Libby while I was
there. Really?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of people are named Libby?
It's Elizabeth, right? It's short for Elizabeth.
No, that's Lizzie.
But she was from another town. She didn't live in Libby, but she visited.
No, but Libby is not short for Elizabeth, is it?
In the case of the Libby that I was
And let me ask you this. How come some people called Elizabeth are called Betty? What does Betty have to do with Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Betty.
I see, boy. Oh, Beth? Whatever happened to Beth on Passions, by the way? She took off with Marty, and we ain't seen her no more. And how come Alistair's still hanging around on video anyway? You're not watching now?
Huh?
You don't even know who Luis Lopez Fitzgerald was the day we got that call. That was a great call.
No, I don't.
Too bad. A federal judge on Friday said former White House aide I. Lewis Scooter Libby's trial date in the CIA leak case for January 2007, 2 months after the midterm congressional election, reports the Boston Globe. A trial for Libby, who faces perjury and obstructed justice charges, will begin with jury selection January 8, said U.S. District Judge Reggie B. Walton. Reggie B., the judge. The judge said he hoped to start the trial in September, but one of Libby's lawyers had a scheduling conflict that made that impractical, and I'm sure that was just an accident. Don't you? That they had to postpone until 2 months after the midterm elections, so that all this stuff that's going to come out won't blow up in their face, and no Republicans are going to get elected. Walton said he doesn't like to have a case linger while he's sniffing his finger, but had no choice because Libby attorney Ted Wells will be tied up for 10 weeks on another case. Libby, former chief of staff to Vice President Dick Cheney. I wonder if he's kin to a Chris Wells. Libby, formerly chief of staff to Vice President Dick Cheney, was indicted late. Well, we know that. Wells said Libby's defense team was very happy with the trial date. I'll bet they are. It'll permit us the time we need to prepare Mr. Libby's defense and make up a lot of stories. Special prosecutor Patrick Fitzgerald did not oppose the date during the hearing. His team left the courthouse without comment. How do you like that? Libby, 55, spoke only once during the hearing when Walton asked if he understood that his lawyers had waived his right to a speedy trial because of the case's complexity. Libby, surrounded by 6 lawyers at the defense table, stood up and said, "Yes, sir," and that was it. And away he waltzed. So that's that. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. I think you're going to be surprised when the door opens and they're going to come in. There's going to be a big band. Remember the scene in The Godfather in Vegas?
Yeah.
Where Fredo opens the door and there's all the dancers in there and there's all the food and all the entertainment and the band. And Michael says, "Who are these girls? Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Who are these girls?" That's for you to find out, Mikey. Get rid of them.
Yeah, you're right. Too. I would be very surprised.
Oh, yeah. You're going to see. Ticker tape parade for this show, for what we did in that pool. For just stomping and beating and pounding.
Yeah, a sticker tape parade.
808 votes on our poll on NeilRogers.com. And by the way, Josh Cordes wants you to read those bedtime stories or else.
That's right.
He works feverishly. In fact, some days he's got them on there before noon. And he's working his ass off to get those on there, and especially days when we send him way too many, which in his case, he thinks like more than 5 is too many. But, because it cuts into his sack time, all hopping around in the sack. Sometimes with somebody, sometimes not. 808 votes on the poll. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd, 258. Yeah, right. And your mama's Betty Washington, too. I have some interest. Betty Washington, that's the first President Bush's wife.
Oh.
Barbara Betty.
Ooh.
I have, Beth. I have some interest, but not big time, too, for it. In other words, like, they'll watch the Super Bowl, but, that's it. Just in case there's more naked boobies. I hate everybody, 71. And that's Alan Brown probably voted several times. He's mad at the world. Too bad, Alan. You suck. I hate this poll, 42. I'm a total sports nerd, 42. I hate spectator sports, 35. I have no interest, 34. That's what George says, which is for you, that's pretty mild,
It is mild.
I thought you were going to say I hate spectator sports.
Don't. It's just
come see, come
watching somebody cook broccoli.
Have a good time. You don't want to be involved,
Gornish Telfin. Good luck to you. Have a nice time.
I love to shower with the guys, 34. Depends on who the guys are, I would assume. Only for gambling purposes, 18. I only watch one sport, 16. Ricky Martin voted on that. Is there anything else other than sports? 11. We didn't put out. I'm assuming they know what that means. And I'm a jock sniffer. Solamente nueve.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM. From the producers of ABC's sci-fi thriller Invasion comes a show about an even scarier, more diabolical terror. The government has denied their existence for years, but they're here, among us, in your town. even in your own home, just waiting for you to pick up the phone. George Bush stars as the listener in Invasion of Privacy.
Hello, this is customer support. What is being your question and or problem with your product and or service, please?
Yeah, see, my computer just crashed, and I don't... Did you hear that?
Yes, I am to be hearing it as well.
Is someone else there on the line?
No.
What? Who is this?
Yes, I do wish to know.
Don't worry there, Steve. It's just me, your president. Go ahead, don't mind me.
Mr. President? What's going on? And how did you know my name?
Oh, I know a lot about you. I like your nickname is Bubba, and you order pizza every Friday night.
What?
And let's see here. Looks like you missed a few payments on that student loan there, Bubba.
I can't believe this. You can't do this.
Think again there, Bubba.
Oh, I am also filled with righteous indignation.
Watch it there, Haji Patel of New Delhi.
But this is part of being a private call.
A private overseas call there, Buddha boy.
I am not a Buddhist, sir. I am Hindu.
I don't care if you're Shamu. Don't mess with Texas, son. Because I got a Predator drone circling 3851 Calcutta Court right now. So watch it, buddy.
Invasion of Privacy, tonight at Rick's Big Takeover Civil Rights Edition on ABC.
14 till noon at QM. So here's another mysterious fact. Only this one, I guess, supposed to get us really all whipped up to a frenzy, but we have no idea what it's all about. Huh?
Exactly.
Oh, you're eating again? What is that?
It's
Howie's.
It's Howie's, and it's a what the hell is this that I keep ordering, Josh? That's a Malibu chicken sandwich. Yes. It's really good.
Oh man.
Except you gotta order it without the mayonnaise and mustard, because boy.
Anyway, here's the facts. Now the return number on it is it says payroll department. So it's obviously some business, although it looks very familiar to me, both the header and the scribbling on here. Attention, Neil, since you don't have the balls to read about it on the air, I'll send it to your friends that they hold on the ticket. And George has got a big question mark on there because we don't have any idea what they're talking about. How do you know I don't have the balls to read it on the air when we don't know what it is? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man, more of this stuff. I don't think I'll ever be the same. Just fax it along and we'll see whether we read it on the air or not, schmuck. 5670560. Pound 560 in the Verizon the singular wireless line. Probably something about the Beasleys and those goats.
Yeah, make sure that you identify it somehow, because we get news stories all the time, as you know, stuff that we don't, that we either already have or don't care about.
Did you get something that you didn't send me today?
I just checked through the pile here, and there's nothing that's anything.
So before you go rushing with all this hysteria, Alan, or whoever it is across the street, that we don't read it on the air, why not try sending it to us first? Then we probably still won't read it. WQAM, hello.
I have no life.
Yeah, okay. Bulletin. 5670560. Pound 560 in the Verizon singular wireless line. That thing needs to be put out of its misery, you know it?
It needs to be put out of our misery.
Oh, yeah. Just one. Well placed, which I'm sure you have very good aim.
I do.
There'll be a knock on your door about 6:30 tonight, jackass. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got a new picture to put up next to the one with Rumsfeld and Saddam.
Yeah.
The one Cindy Sheehan and Chavez.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And?
No, just letting you know.
Okay, great. We don't have the balls to put it up there, though. 5670560, pound 560. Boy, these people have lost it. They have come unglued today. No question about that. Well, there's a lot of pressure for that Super Bowl. You know, they got all the big bets. They got the house mortgaged, all whipped up to a frenzy about it because somebody told him they ought to be. Now, George, you know, he doesn't care. He refuses to care. He's adamant. I don't think I'm going to watch it anyway. I just don't think I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
WQAM, hello.
What's up? Happy Friday, get high day. Hey, I think you need a new look, Neil, since you got competition.
Yeah.
You grow a beard like Roethlisberger, get gold teeth and say 560 and diamonds. Be wrong, man. My cock going
For sure. He got his finger stuck in it right there at the ass end of the call. That was special.
Good golly.
Good work, Pally. He's getting a heat start. He's having his own tailgate party all by himself. WQAM, hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
Okay, good. Go on there.
Turn it up a little more, Pally. We can hardly hear. We're getting older than that. Yeah. What is it?
Who am I?
What is it? Who am I? Okay, that's Admiral Stockdale calling from the other side. See, just when you thought we got rid of his ass. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
QAM, hello.
I'm lonely.
Boy, I tell you, like I said, they're on a run. Okay, man attacks with hatchet and gun in Massachusetts gay bar. You see this story? Do you see what this guy looked like?
No.
He probably was PO'd because nobody would pick him up. An 18-year-old man opened fire in a Massachusetts gay bar and attacked patrons with a hatchet, wounding 3 people, police said yesterday. You didn't see this?
No.
The attack at Puzzles Lounge in New Bedford, Mass., a city about 58 miles south of Boston, took place around midnight Wednesday. Was being treated as an apparent...
Excuse me. There was a news story sent earlier to this one about Canada's massive seal hunt. And I threw it in the garbage because who gives a flying crap? So they can go ahead and send it to the Herald.
Canadians' massive seal hunt?
Apparently the Canadians are hunting seals. And
so who cares?
Not me.
Oh, get out of here, boring crap. What the hell do we care about? Since you don't have the balls.
You don't have the balls to talk about the Canadians killing them.
He's going to send that to the ticket. Well, I'm sure that the ticket...
No, to the Herald.
Huh? No, it said the Herald and the ticket.
Yeah.
And then the ticket, they're going to attack all the Canadians.
Oh.
Isn't this sad? In other words, I don't want to talk about what he wants me to talk about, so therefore, go ahead, have a good time.
The Canadians are hunting seals.
I'm sure it'll give them the same great treatment that we gave you, okay? Shine, the old shine routine.
You need to stop right now.
Here's Johnny. Police said the man entered the bar, ordered a drink, asked the bartender if he was in a gay bar. See, ordinarily you wouldn't have to ask that question. You'd look around and kind of see, get the lay of the land, but maybe he's a little slow. He sure looks it. When told that it was a gay bar, he reached into his coat, pulled out a hatchet, and attacked the man next to him at a pool table. As patrons attempted to restrain him, he drew a gun and fired several shots, wounding 2 people. 2 of the wounded airlifted to a Boston hospital. The gunman fled. Police later identified him as Jacob Robita, an 18-year-old described as extremely violent. They said he was wanted on 3 counts of attempted murder and hate crimes related to the attack. New Bedford was the scene of another high-profile bar attack, the 83 gang rape of a woman whose case inspired the 1988 movie The Accused, starring that dyke Jodie Foster. How do you like that? I remember that, don't you? That
yes, I do.
Gang rape?
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, and speaking of that, there's your friend, the weather lady. Uh-oh, roof collapse at Bed Bath & Beyond in Florida. A roof collapse.
Really?
The things that they put on there, they're like all whipped up into a frenzy about. Oh, and speaking of Canadians, this is going to get that guy all whipped up into a frenzy. Forget about the baby seals. Canadian officials say inexperienced American soldiers panicked and opened fire on a vehicle carrying 4 Canadians in Iraq, disputing the U.S. military's claim that the convoy was hit because warning signals were ignored. An investigation is underway to determine what precipitated what was nearly a friendly U.S. military's claim that the convoy was hit because warning signals were ignored. An investigation is underway to determine what precipitated what was nearly a friendly fire tragedy Tuesday inside Baghdad's fortified Green Zone. The U.S. military released a statement after the shooting saying the Canadians' vehicle failed to stop after they were warned with hand signals and a round of warning shots in front of the vehicle. Yesterday, a different version of events emerged. Let's just say we don't confirm the American version. I'll give you a hint. The Americans just did a rotation of their military personnel inside the Green Zone. We can draw all our conclusions from there, a Canadian diplomatic source familiar with the incident told the Toronto Star. Cameron told CTV News that the Canadian convoy was keeping a good distance and that no one on her vehicle saw any hand signals from the Americans to indicate they were too close. She also said the 3 shots fired were not a warning and that one of the bullets went right through the windshield, narrowly missing a passenger. How many warning shots go across a vehicle into the passenger compartment, Cameron asked yesterday? Yeah, maybe they just had bad aim. Think that's what it is?
Must have been.
Yeah, just a warning shot. Oh, by the way, sorry we hit you with it, but, well, there's not a better warning than that, right?
Right.
So what's the story about the Canadian SEALs? Because maybe I would have read it on the air. Who the hell knows? See, you're creating some bad will for me, like I'm a shill for the Canadian government or something.
I'll send it to you.
You go ahead and send that to the ticket. I'm sure the juice is going to be talking about that all day, about them SEALs. Lots of squeals about them SEALs.
And Crofts.
So that's their new deal now, to try to drum up some excitement, I guess, is getting people to walk out. Actually, Sid the Kid walked out that one day. Obviously staged. And now, what was the sports writer? Who did he say it was? Not Mike Lupica, the other guy. Got up and ran out. Hey,
some guy.
Who?
Some guy.
Some guy. How's lunch? Pretty good. Sounds good.
I'm done.
835 votes. Yeah, you can say that again. That's what Clarence said. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm not going to read the thing again. I just got through reading it. I'm just looking at the total, 839. By the way, in case you tuned in late, final tabulation on that very important blog poll by Greg Cotex in the Miami Herald. That's been going on for 2 weeks now. They did the runoffs, and then we had the finals and the primaries and the final whatever. Total finals. Favorite sports talk guy in town. Jim Mandich, 589. Joe Rose, 462. We sure wish we had him back. Hank Goldberg, 317. And bringing up the rear, Danny LeBastard, 226. Least favorite, Dan LeBastard, 599. Boy, that's a scary total. The Humper, 448. Sid the Kid, 235. And The Big O 108.
Rock solid.
Final tabulation, head-to-head, nose-to-nose. Your favorite station for sports, WQAM, 10,543 votes, 790 the ticket, 3,012. A difference of 7,531. Very tight. Alan Brown. Oh, gee, there he goes again. But he's going to talk about it. Yeah, right. That'll do. See, on this show, we're not paranoid. Like, yeah, it always cracks me up when somebody will call and say, well, I heard on another station, and then they're like, well, I don't know if I can mention. Like, what do we care? You know what I'm saying? They're like really uptight about whether mention to call it as another show. What do we care about it? I'll tell you one thing, man. If you're in this business and you're afraid that somebody will mention the call letters of another radio station, you really are in need mental health.
In the wrong business.
Talk about paranoia. Here it is. This is in what? Protect the Seals of the Humane Society, yeah.
By the way, that's Mike Francesa who walked
Mike Francesa walked off their show. Okay?
Host at
So, and of course,
WQAM.
just like the audience, why should he be any different? They're all flying away from it. The Humane Society website says, I have distressing news to share. The largest commercial slaughter of marine mammals on the planet set to begin late March. By the end of the hunt, it's predicted more than 300,000 seals have been clubbed or shot to death, many of them babies as young as 12 days old. Last year, a shocking 98.5% of the seals killed were 2 months old or younger, and some were skinned while still conscious, able to feel pain. Lovely. We expect more of the same during this year's hunt. Haven't I always screamed about this? Hollered and carried on like a maniac?
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
And it says, don't buy while seals die. Boycott Canadian seafood, eh?
Okay.
It says the Humane Society of the U.S. will be in the front lines in Canada fighting to halt its atrocity. I ask that you stand with us today and stop the seal hunt forever. I'm going outside right after the show and start screaming like a banshee. Quit with the clubbing and baby seals, you lunatics, you butchers. Seal hunting is an off-season activity conducted by fishermen from Canada's east coast, eh? They earn on average a small fraction of their incomes from seal hunting. The rest comes from commercial fisheries. Canada takes in nearly $3 billion annually from seafood exports to the U.S. The connection between commercial fishing industry and the seal hunt in Canada gives consumers all over the world the power to end the vicious slaughter of seals. And this thing is it's on the what's the website? Humane Society of the U.S. Humane Society at hsus.org. Oh, but you don't have the balls to talk about. Well, how the can I talk about when George is picking and choosing what he's going to send to me, okay?
Well, I thought it was kind
the
of
only
boring.
thing that George isn't going to send to me is stuff from Lyle and from the Scribbler and all the Chronics. That's all. The rest of it, I'll make the decisions.
All right.
I'll play Butch Boss from now on.
All right.
So that I don't have to, like I'm trying to cover up for the butcher. In addition to
Well,
which,
you
of
always
course,
yell when I send you boring-ass stories all the time.
who said this was a boring-ass story? This is sickening. It's disgusting. Just like the thing about my next story about the 22 accused in using puppies, which, by the way, Geldy talked about it yesterday. I was sitting here at the very beginning of his show, and I couldn't believe it. Nice going, Geldy. He's got to be a dog lover with a voice like that. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
Well, who's more of an animal lover than I am, except, of course, for the extremist animal lovers, the ones that want to like, get a little bit too close and personal and make me uncomfortable about that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Although I did not do the bestiality story from the state of Washington. Did I ever send that? I hope not.
I don't know.
8:42. Boy, we better get with it now. We might not make our 45,000 by 2.
This is Neil Rogers.
7,531 margin, Alan Brown. Eat your parts out, the loser.
You call me Mr. Moose, and I've everything to dwell on an hour.
All right.
I was sleeping in the park, just trying to take a snooze. I got pummeled in the dark. It left me black and blue. I'm hurt so bad, I'm coughing up blood. Why was I beaten by teenagers with clubs? I'm dying over here. Don't know why this happened. I took blows to the head. They took off, they were laughing. They left me here for dead. I've gotta ask, were they high on drugs? Why was I beaten by teenagers with clubs? I'm lying here, can't hardly move. They took those baseball bats and swung them like Babe Ruth. Like to ask the parents why they raise their kids this way. Lots and lots of prison time will be the price they pay. Put them in jail with all those other thugs.
Yes.
Why was I beaten by teenagers with clubs? Why was I beaten by teenagers with clubs? Why was I beaten by teenagers with clubs?
Just for the halibut. 1203 at 560 WQAM. Now, I expect an apology on the fax machine, by the way.
All right.
Did you get one yet?
No, maybe. Oh, it's beeping now. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Now that I read that story and they're giving me a song, you don't have the balls to read the story. Well, what is that?
Like you're trying to protect the Canadian
fishermen.
fishermen.
Especially now that they got these fascists here running the government. I'm going to protect Canada. So screw those hosers. The hell with it. Speaking of people beating on animals, this story just makes me want to puke. And I forgot, I had it in my pile yesterday, never got to it. Thanks, Geldy. Leave it to Geldy. He's going to the dogs.
Here comes your thank you from that person.
Well, see, there you go. Now, there's somebody I like. Okay, they made a mistake. They rushed to judgment. They're blaming me because you're a jackass.
Right.
And now I want a follow-up fax to come in here ripping you an ass. Saying, who the hell are you? Which I don't have that on the first. There, that's what I was looking for.
Sorry, I couldn't find it either.
Sitting there eating free lunch and censoring and picking and choosing what that old fag is going to talk
we
about.
get stories all the time, as you know, that we already have.
I understand, but like you would expect that was on our website. You should have asked Josh. He follows the stories like religiously.
Seals, that's
you
all
could
the
ask him
time.
from like 6 weeks ago. Did Neil have the story on there about that prostitute that was like doing the judge? And he would say, oh yeah, I read that one 4 times.
Every fax that we get from a PETA person,
is he getting defensive, Josh, or what?
Animal thing.
He's getting defensive.
You'd go nuts and you'd yell.
What?
We get
every day. It wasn't a PETA person. It was about baby seals, man. That's sickening. It's disgusting. Subhuman. I never said that all the people. And in addition to which, that's got nothing to do with where I'm living.
And every
got nothing to do with
day
Ontario. That's a bunch of them hosers, them fishermen people.
Yeah.
And here it is. Oh. Thank you, Neil. I just wanted to get the info out there about the seals. Love you. Well, see, they hated me like 5 minutes ago. Now they love me. Well, I understand. See, this is what happens inside the building too. I get all the grief. They hate me like poison because you do all the dirty work. Or is it the other way around? They hate you because whatever. Now let's just face it. They hate us. Period.
That's it.
That's because we're associated with this show. They just hate us. I just can't believe that nobody in that place came in and see, they have no sense of humor. I realize there's all kinds of stuff going on. They got a lot of fish to fry. Speaking of seafood.
Listen. You need to readjust. There may be 3 people in the building listening to you now or ever.
Yeah, Miguel,
right. Duff,
Tommy, Duff.
I think I'm done.
That's oh yeah.
All right. So the people that you're expecting a response or something.
Well, how come Tommy didn't come in there and say, "Good going, guys"? Give you like a low 5 and a couple of fat ones, huh?
He doesn't care about them, and neither does anybody else for that matter.
But that isn't the point. You're missing the whole point of this.
No, I think you are.
No, I'm not. I don't care about them either. I couldn't give a flying crap less about them. I wouldn't listen to them if you paid me by the millisecond. So that's got nothing to do with it. It's just the idea of we're in the business. We're here to compete. You understand that? Does anybody get it?
No. I don't think Tommy gets ratings bonuses.
That's not the point. He's not going to make any rating bonus from this bogus rating bogus, because that's what the pool was, bogus. Come on, Jesus, what a.
You know how many people I hear talking about that?
I understand. Most of the people are depressed because they're in that building and they're surrounded with this gloom and doom. I thought that now we had the new regime, and of course Greg keeps showing up all the time because he's got nothing else to do, and he's on the payroll, so he keeps busy work, looking like he's doing something, and that probably cast a dark pall too over the proceedings. Good God, just get out of there for a while, Greg. Let the air clear out. Open up the windows. Let's have a little cleansing experience.
I saw him packing his office yesterday.
Who's that?
Greg.
He was packing up?
He was packing.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, see, now it goes to show you just put me in the best mood, and that's the end of the week. Maybe just hanging around for one more week. One more week. You think?
Yeah.
He was packing his stuff up. Oh.
All right.
Well, all right, sports fans. All right.
By the way, he ain't on today. Eddie K. 4-7 for the Mad Dog after Curtis. From the BAC, the Bank Atlantic Yenta Renta Center. Panther preview at 7, the Panthers and the Atlanta Trashers. Now, you better go out and see that game. You like an exciting hockey game? Atlanta scores a ton of goals. They're exciting. They got Ilya Kovalchuk, and they got Marian Hossa. Never trust a guy named Marian unless it's John Wayne. And Lenny Martez and Troy Stratford after the hockey game. Man, what a lineup, huh? I don't see Stu Gotts in there. 22 accused and using... So he was cleaning out his desk.
No, he was putting, like pictures and frames and things.
Away. Cleaning out his orifice. Oh, he was cleaning out his orifice? God, that must have taken a long time. Because over the last several years, there have been so many QAM heads in there. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Let's hope they all got out.
I bet you when he started doing that, he had to remove Matty Bell first. They probably had to bring in a crane to surgically remove him from Greg's
rectum
ass. The Drug Enforcement Administration, that fact that whole episode we just went through, I realized to most people that would not be very extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, you don't understand the psychology of the way people think. In other words, if they snap their fingers, I'm supposed to respond.
That's right. You're supposed to care about what they care about.
And you're right about those 85-page faxes we get many times, stories that we've already got on our website, not only that day, but sometimes a day or two before.
Days-old stories.
Right.
Redundant stories.
But
stories.
But at least they're involved. They're trying to be helpful, even though we hate them like poison for wasting all our fax paper. But nevertheless, at least they're trying to be involved.
That's not what I'd call it.
Like I said, to be an irritant, and they're doing a good job of it.
Look at me.
The
Look what I
DEA,
found.
the Drug Enforcement Administration, arrested 22 Colombian nationals for smuggling heroin into the U.S. by various methods, including surgically implanting the drugs into puppies, officials said Wednesday.
Now that's
you didn't see this story?
Yeah, I saw it, and it's outrageous.
There's a little puppy that looks just like Tiny.
How come they couldn't use cats?
Now that's a thought. That is an excellent idea. Just rip their gut open and shove it in there. Yeah. The Colombian organization brought more than 20 kilograms of heroin into the USA, concealing some of it by slitting open purebred puppies, according to John P. Gilbride, the DEA's New York Field Division special agent in charge in a news release. At least 3 puppies died from having liquid heroin packets placed inside them and then being stitched back up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Human couriers or swallowers also ingested the heroin packets to transport them overseas. The group also hid drugs in body creams, aerosol cans, and along the lining of purses and luggage. Drug smugglers often rely on couriers to swallow condoms full of drugs, and one Colombian woman was once found with cocaine surgically implanted in her buttocks.
Rectum.
The organization's outrageous and heinous smuggling, isn't that what you call it? If they implanted it in her buttocks, wouldn't that be anus smuggling?
What else would you call it?
Rectum.
Their outrageous and heinous smuggling method of implanting heroin inside puppies is a true indication of the extent that drug dealers go to make their profit, they said. This investigation identified the individuals who are responsible for overseeing and smuggling millions of dollars worth of heroin from Colombia to the East Coast. And now we got that Colombian radio stations on there, Radio Suave. Yeah. What is that called? Oh, you wouldn't know. Caracol. What a memory I got. Got a cold?
Very good.
Don't sneeze. Caracol. You haven't heard it yet?
What?
I don't understand. Other than Little Joey, do we know any Colombians about it?
Oh, Little Joey, you let him on the air all the time, Little Joey, but when I call out, I'm not going to stand still for that.
I just don't like Colombia.
I do a pretty good Gilbert.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Of course, you've heard him enough.
Yeah, I should have in my sleep, yeah.
Hitler.
By the way, that's Gilbert. For anybody who doesn't know it, that does Hitler, that's the only thing you'll hear from him on the air. More than $20 million worth of heroin is involved, NBC News reported. Wednesday's arrest were the culmination of a 2-year investigation that identified a drug trafficking organization based in Medellin, Colombia, whose distribution... Why don't we just bomb Colombia, for Christ's sakes? At least Hugo Chavez, he's got the oil there in Venezuela. Has Colombia got oil? I don't think so.
No.
And why is that? Why not?
They just don't.
Well, the Lord works in mysterious ways. He figured they don't need oil. They got all them drugs.
That's right.
Whose distribution network reached from Miami to New York City. Miami, there we go again, drugs in Miami. What a concept. In January of last year, police in Colombia found 6 puppies with scars on their abdomens at a rural property. Ultrasound scans revealed bags of liquid heroin hidden inside living animals. Police said traffickers plan to retrieve the drug once the dogs pass customs abroad. Once they pass customs?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
No,
the dog has to pass customs? They have to take their shoes off?
Does a drug-sniffing dog detect heroin inside another dog?
That's a good question. What about if the heroin's inside the drug-sniffing dog?
Then they have
Never thought about that. I think we ought to start checking out the dogs instead of the other way around. Colombia is the world's largest producer of cocaine and the main supplier of heroin to the USA. And guess who's the largest supplier of those poppies, huh?
Afghanistan?
Afghanistan. Now we're talking. Boy, that's their only industry when you come right down to it. We did a hell of a job there again in Afghanistan. But we got that Hamid Karzai in there from the Unical, from the board of directors at Unical. That's another oil pimp. All the oil pimps all the time. And we told you right on this fat-ass show a long time ago when they first started that shock and awe. This is about two things only, OIL and MONEY. And here we are like almost 5 years later. And it turned out the old fag was right. Told you. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist to see that. In fact, they were even commenting a couple of shots there about all this business about not being dependent on Middle East oil and unstable countries, and Cheney sitting behind him with his beady eyes rolling around like a pinball machine. And people are saying it's a little bit incredulous, the whole thing, because since Bush and Cheney are both up to their ears in oil, they're in the oil business, man, with the bin Ladens. Remember the thing, oh yeah, I was in business with his father in the olive oil business.
I didn't know no Godfather.
Yeah, that's right. I was in business with his father. We were in the olive oil business, Genco Oil. Seriously, every line, every scene in that movie, it captures your whole existence.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
You know what I'm saying? I think every day.
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, greaseball, goombas come out of
Who did I just mention? Who did I just say like 10 seconds ago that they just flashed on CNN? Hamid Karzai, that oil pimp from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, my psychic powers, if they worked as well at the track as they do on the air here and like the rest of the day, I'd be loaded. I wouldn't have to be here sitting and fighting like crazy for a bunch of wimpy sports nerd guys. We don't wanna.
This is Neil Rogers. Rock solid. This is 560 QAM. It's 30 a day plus gas.
Well, I rented Lincoln.
Cash or credit.
I drove up in the hills.
You want the insurance?
And to recall how it happened, well,
good luck.
It still gives me chills.
What a weirdo.
Followed my map of star houses.
Yikes.
And was shocked to see sitting on her front porch was Angelina Jolie. Well, I walked up like I knew her.
Hey, do I know you?
And I saw her hesitate.
Hey!
But the chloroform started working, and for her, it was too late. Put her in my car and rolled the windows down. Now she was my queen, and I made her a crown.
Take the stupid crown off me!
And I've got Angelina Jolie in my basement.
I'm in the basement!
And I think I'll keep her there with me.
Hello?
And charge her rent.
I'm not paying rent.
Well, I hope she don't mind. I hope that she'll find that she likes the cement.
I'm in the basement!
How wonderful life is with Angelina Jolie in my basement.
Let me out of here!
Well, I'm schizophrenic, polar and manic, but I bet you'd give your last cent.
Help me!
To have Angelina Jolie locked down in your basement.
Come here, Precious!
Don't hurt my dog.
I'll do it, mister!
Don't hurt Precious.
I'll hurt your dog, mister!
It puts the dog in the basket.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
1219 at 560 WQAM. We got 894, 891, whatever the hell it says there. Almost 900 volt. We're going to get that 1,000 just as easy as rolling over and playing dead, like our sports nerds.
We don't wanna.
Oh, here's this update on the worm. You got the worm yet?
Oh, not that one.
A computer. This is from Hong Kong, because today was supposed to be the day. They always do. It's like that same thing with
Y2K.
the Y2K crap.
Yeah.
There's a worm coming, the Y2K. All the computers all over the world are going to crash. Your electric's going to go out. Thinking back on that, it's just kind of a scary, How many stupid people, and then of course the really stupid people believe all the crap. That's what they're gearing to.
Yeah.
A computer worm expected to begin corrupting files in infected machines around the world Friday caused no major damage in the Asian financial centers of Hong Kong and Tokyo. Maybe they've got good machines over there. Experts had warned that the worm known as Kama Sutra, CME24, Blackworm, or MyWife.e could corrupt documents using the most common file types, including .doc, .pdf, and .zip. It's well past the deadline, but we haven't confirmed any cases of the Kama Sutra in Japan, which suggests we're not looking at a major outbreak. Itsuro Nishimoto, an executive at the Tokyo-based computer security company LAC, said that Friday afternoon their time. He called the threat of an attack a bluff and said even if it did occur, users can easily protect their files with standard precautions. You know, like that Norton antivirus.
Right.
Boy, do I hate that thing.
Me too.
A manager at Hong Kong's Official Coordination Center for Computer Emergencies said he hadn't received any reports or calls for help from those infected by the worm. It began spreading late last month, but we haven't received any calls in the past 2 weeks. We don't expect to receive any today either, Roy Ko said. K-O, as in Co. Rhymes with a big O. The worm is believed to have infected hundreds of thousands of computers, mostly in India, Peru, Turkey, and Italy, Finnish security company F-Secure said earlier this week. Unlike other worms generally designed to help spammers and hackers carry out attacks, Blackworm could inflict more damage because it sets out to destroy documents using the most common file types. It also tries to disable outdated antivirus software. Maybe this worm is the one that got rid of all those documents they had about in the White House there, Jack Abramoff.
Oh, those documents.
Oh, yeah.
And
all the emails.
CIA leak, all those too.
Right. But Coe said he wasn't worried. Our assessment of the worm damage isn't serious. Big corporations will surely be able to avoid if they update their antivirus software frequently enough. We're more worried about individual users and small businesses. There was also no sign that government offices have been affected, said Mavis Hui, a spokeswoman for the Commerce Industry and Technology Bureau. Mavis Hui, H-U-I, Hui. Isn't that what Joe Rose always said? Hui?
He likes it.
And Ed Beatty. 897, man. It's like heaven on that poll today if you're a sports nerd. Not got the Super Bowl coming up. Even George is going to be watching. Not on Sunday.
Whipped up.
Yeah. 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., be there or be square. We love the Steelers. They're really, or is it we love the Seahawks? I don't care. I don't know. I can't get all that excited about it. Because I really and truly, as much as I want to see the Steelers beat the crap out of the Colts for obvious reasons, I don't like the Steelers.
Colts?
I beg your pardon?
You said the Steelers beat the hell out of the Colts?
Denver. Did I say beat the Broncos? Is that what I just said?
No.
Oh. Well, you know what I was saying.
Okay.
And they did. But nevertheless, I don't like Bill Cowher. I can't stand that whole thing with the jaw. And as far as Seattle's concerned, Mike Holmgren, he looks like he's had too much of that Wisconsin cheese, when he was in Green Bay. I guess Seattle, huh? We're going to root for Seattle?
I am, yes.
Well, there you
go.
Me too.
I don't care who wins. I just want to see a good game.
Oh, you got a bet on. Now, come on. Don't tell me you don't have a big bet on.
Yeah, you're right. I got with Hank earlier over the phone.
Right.
We got
overs, unders. What's the over and under? 47?
Yeah. What's the spread?
Yeah, that's the spread. I got a comment for that. Joyce, that's the spread.
The low price?
Yeah, she's the quicker picker-upper. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Kind of a lethargic afternoon here, We're kind of, what I'm doing right now?
What are you doing?
Actually, I could be sitting on one of them little rings you sit on when you got bad roids. That's called resting on your laurels.
Oh, is that what those are called?
That's what that's called. Your laurels, which is a racetrack, by the way, in Maryland. In Baltimore, I believe. 902. In fact, isn't that where no, that's Pimlico. I'm sorry. Same difference. 902. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd, 295. I have some interest, but not big time. In other words, I'm not obsessed. There's nothing worse than being obsessed with games, with ball games. Oh, Jesus, I hate everybody, 81. Total nerd, 44. It's like these people with a hockey here,
The board head coach of the Leafs will be aboard in hour
Okay, good. I hate this pool, 42. I love to shower with the guys, 41. I have no interest, like George, 38. I mean, who cares, Enough with this already. I hate spectator sports, 36. Only for gambling purposes, 21. I only watch one sport, 19. Is there anything else besides sports, 12? Oh, Clarence voted for that, I'm sure. And I'm a jock sniffer. Oh, 11. He also voted for that. How is Clarence? Do you come in here and congratulate us on our phenomenal job?
Huh?
Oh. Not even Tommy. Well, he's probably out to lunch.
I would imagine.
Either that or he's working feverishly in there, maybe
one of the two.
Conducting a couple of drug deals. Got a great story here, but I think it's too long. I already sent it on. I'm not sending you no more stories unless something major happened, because I don't want to do that 27 stories again and get you all, bummed out on the weekend, okay? Put too much pressure.
Do what you got to do, man.
I got the window cracked open here because it's actually too warm in here, believe it or not. Not that it's that hot today, and somebody's cooking something, maybe next door. Oh, man.
Smell good or?
Good.
Like curry?
No, not Curry.
Second period, 5-on-3. Glenn Murray tattoos one passed away. It's
it actually is 40. It's kind of murky looking and gloomy. It's raining a little bit, dripping. Like it's like the Amsterdam drip. You ever had the Amsterdam drip?
Not lately.
All depends on what part of your body it's dripping from. But yeah, it's about 40. But anyway, something that smells like pasta sauce. Which I can't eat my pasta, but boy, do I love it. Do you know anybody who doesn't love, like, sketty? Do you know anybody?
No, not that I think of.
I mean, there's some vegetarians who obviously aren't. You were going to say, if we said, well, nobody doesn't like a good steak, but there are vegetarians who don't eat meat, so we have to exclude them.
Right.
But as far as spaghetti, I guess they won't be eating no meatballs with their spaghetti. Like the Italians don't eat meatballs with their pasta. They would laugh at you if you said that. Like going into the Italian trattoria and say, give me a pizza with pepperoni. And, of course, in Italy, pepperoncini is like peppers, so they'll give you pizza with, like, hot peppers on it.
Ooh, no thank you.
Well, but I'm just saying, there's no such thing as Pappy Rooney, okay? There's Art Rooney, but there ain't no Pappy Rooney.
Mickey Rooney?
In January, the powerful Alexander Strategy Group shut down its public operations faster than merchants peddling pirated DVDs on Canal Street who hear the cops are on the way. The well-connected Republican lobbying firm founded and run by former senior staffers of embattled House Majority Leader Tom DeLay explained that the publicity from the Jack Abramoff mega-scandal has fatally damaged its business. On the surface, it appears to be the fault of a major player in the GOP's K Street project, which has made lobbying a highly partisan industry. But don't count out ASG. Already, according to the Washington Post, most of its lobbyists are setting up a successor firm. While ASG spins its problems as collateral damage from the Abramoff affair, it's hardly the victim of an errant public relations bomb, una bomba. In fact, the firm was deeply entangled in several of the Washington scandals. Its swift shutdown offers a rare x-ray of the elaborate lobbying shell game that trades access to lucrative government contracts for funds to fill the campaign war chest, keeping Republicans in power. Founded by DeLay's former chief of staff, Ed Buckham, ASG was a centerpiece of this game. In recent report, Public Citizen lays out the rules. In this partnership, corporations, trade associations, and lobbying firms are pressured to hire only Republicans. Those lobbyists then help Republican leadership to whip on the outside to get Republican members of the House to vote for leadership's legislative agenda. The lobbyists also raise enormous amounts of money from their clients to ensure that Republicans remain the majority in Congress. For this fealty, the leadership grants the lobbyists access to the decision-makers and provides legislative favors for their clients. And the story goes on. It's a long story. It'll be on our website tomorrow. Or else. 27 past noon, if you tuned in late. You know something? At this point, I don't care if anybody else in the building gives a crap or not, because we did a phenomenal job. We're not looking for like an extra bonus or something.
Yeah, we are.
Even for a pat on the back saying, boy, what a great job, guys. Even by hook or by crook, you just done it. You got the masses whipped up to a frenzy out there, and we put them in their place and kicked their ass. And you think, especially since they're the ones that are all whipped up about those losers across the street, we don't care, right?
Right.
So because of the fact that they were too wussified to get up to the plate, like Ross Perot always said, you got to step up to the plate, roll up your sleeves, and do. And these guys, that's what they did, all right. They were doing until we stepped in.
Caca.
That's what they were doing. Man. Looked like Fat Boy been attacking the walls in that tea room again.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
My God, your breasts are beautiful.
Taking his legs. Better have a good defense. Taking his legs, you ruined 1,000 retirements. And it is time to pay for all your crimes. And pretty soon you will be serving hard time. Taking it late, you put Enron in the red. Taking it late, go to prison for a while. Taxes you didn't pay, income you just didn't file. You stole billions from your employees.
Absolutely.
And now you're going to the penitentiary. Taking it late. Stay in jail till you're dead.
So Greg Reed is cleaning out his orifice. Packed up all the pictures and stuff. How did you see that? Were you like spying in there or what?
I just happened to be walking by. I saw it.
Yeah? Walk on by? Peered in there to see, hey, Greg, what are you doing in there? Oh, just cleaning up my stuff. Getting out of here. Bye, Greg. Maybe now Joe Bell can, grab the reins and really kick some ass, huh?
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry.
Oh, Jesus.
Each time we meet.
Hey, Dion. How's that psychic network coming with, what's her name, from Power 96? Bo. You won't see Bo no more. We got Bo Camper Bo, but we ain't got no more Bo Griffin.
The only
we got
Bo
Terry
you need to
Griffin.
know.
You don't need to know Bo and Joe. Well, you know something? I think that was a match made in purgatory between Bo Griffin and Joe Costello.
Yeah.
900. That's your buddy, man.
Good times.
We sure turned on him, or did he turn on us? He just, I don't know.
He left town.
Well, what does that mean?
He went to Washington, D.C., and I guess he's back and everything. There's no turning as far as I'm concerned. He just.
Well, what do you mean he's back?
He just went. Sometimes, he still lives here technically.
No.
All right.
No, he lives there and he hates it.
Okay.
And he said that XM radio is a disgrace. Media largely ignored Fitzgerald revelation that White House may have destroyed emails because I just mentioned this and you made some smart-ass comment. It's a long story. I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs because I want to put people in a coma. Few major news outlets have covered the fact first reported by the New York Daily News that in a letter to I. Lewis, Scooter Libby's defense attorneys, Special Counsel Patrick J. Fitzgerald said that numerous emails from 2003 are missing from the White House computer archives, okay? Just an accident, just a coincidence, I'm sure. They just happen to be missing. A February 1st New York Daily News article by staff writer James Gordon Meek reported that in a recent letter to defense attorneys for Scooter Libby, Patrick Fitzgerald said those emails are missing from the computer archives in the White House. A Media Matters for America survey of coverage following the publication of Meek's article found that most major news outlets, with only a few exceptions, have ignored this story. On October 28, 2005, a grand jury indicted Libby. We know about that. Media Matters examined cable and network news coverage on February 1st from 4 p.m. till midnight and February 2nd from 6 to 10 a.m. Also looked at newspaper and wire coverage on February 1 and 2 for mentions of this letter following the publication of Meek's article. The survey found that only the Certainly Not News Network, CNN, the Associated Press, and the New York Sun have devoted any substantial coverage to Fitzgerald's revelation. Probably just a... coincidence. Oh, look at this here. I had this in my pile, but I'm going to move it up because now look at it.
Europe is beginning, after 60 years, it's relearning to hate again.
Abdurrahman Jafar, one quick last question to wrap this up. What needs to be done to defuse this situation?
You can only imagine if they had the South Park episode with the Virgin Mary on there. Oh, brother. Can you imagine if Muhammad would have been there, spitting blood from his into people's face?
That'll be next.
Oh, boy. Well, see, one thing about the Muslims, man, when they get pissed off, they don't just,
Yeah, they
say,
get pissed off
we don't
hard.
like that at all, and you better do something about it. No, they don't say that, although only Indians talk like that. But nevertheless, protests against European newspapers' publication of cartoons lampooning the Prophet Muhammad gained momentum across the Islamic world yesterday as Pakistani schoolchildren burned French and Danish flags and Muslim presidents denounced the drawings. Cartoons, even Doonesbury never had this much flack.
No.
At the same time, more European news organizations printed or broadcast the caricatures, citing a need to defend freedom of expression. One thing about them Europeans, man, they don't take it laying down. Well, sometimes they do.
That's what I heard.
In another day, a confrontation between the largely secular nations of Europe and Muslim countries where religion remains a strong force in daily life, Islamic activists threatened more widespread protests and boycotts of European business. While some European officials sought to defuse the crisis, many journalists insisted that despite Islamic outrage, religious sensibility shouldn't result in censorship. We would have done exactly, like they had one of these spokesmen on their news last night saying, you're making fun of our religion. And, of course, yeah. And?
Exactly.
So, your mama. We would have done exactly the same thing. It would have been a Pope, Rabbi, or priest caricature, wrote editor-in-chief Serge Faubert in Thursday's editions of François, one of the newspapers that printed the cartoons. Mahmoud A. Hashem. Mahmoud. Awful lot of guys named Mahmoud, you know what?
Yeah.
As in, was machst du? Mahmoud Hashem, a businessman in Saudi Arabia, reflecting broad sentiment in Muslim societies, called the cartoons just another example of a sport to insult Islam and Muslims after the attacks of 9/11. Under Islamic teachings, any depiction of Muhammad, the faith's founder and messenger of God, is blasphemy, including depictions that are not negative. In other words, even if he was like a good guy, well,
Yeah, a really good photograph, pen and ink drawing.
right, like real snappy dresser like me. The cartoons violated that dictum, and many of them also ridiculed the Prophet. In one, he's depicted as a terrorist with his turban holding a bomb with a burning fuse. Una bomba in the turban. In his shmata. Political analysts from both sides describe the newspaper's printing of the cartoons as a dangerous incitement in a conflict that's already alienated the growing Muslim populations of West European nations and hardened extremists in both camps. European.
Not right
Paris
now.
Hilton. Alexander Adler, author of Rendezvous with Islam, criticized the newspapers. We're at war, he said, citing the Iraq insurgency. This crap, in other words, basically what he's saying, I guess, is that the whole world is at war with Islam. Isn't that what he's saying?
Well, that's what he'd like.
Yeah. That's evidently his take on it. The European Trades Commissioner, Peter Mandelson, said the continued printing of the cartoons was throwing petrol onto the flames. Acknowledging the desire to stand up for press freedom, he said newspapers must understand the offense that is caused by publishing cartoons of this nature. But more news organizations continued to display the cartoons yesterday, including the BBC, which said it hoped to give audiences an understanding of the strong feelings evoked by the story, and if those folks don't like it, hub them and dreared, they said. Boy, those BBC guys, what a sense of humor, huh? Hub them and dreared my ass. In the West Bank, city of Nablus, Palestinian gunmen kidnapped a German citizen from a hotel restaurant and threatened to seize more foreigners. He was later released because they're PO'd at cartoons that he didn't even draw.
Right.
They like that. That'll teach your people to be making fun of Muhammad.
Damn Germans, even if it was Dutch.
Here's a fax that says from, who's this from, Jim? Larkin awarded damages after scrotum burn. The chairman of the Donegal County City Council has been awarded damage for an injury suffered during a football game 13 years ago and received widespread newspaper coverage this morning. Where is this? This must be in Ireland, I would assume?
I would imagine.
Donegal County? The Football Association of Ireland, yeah, well, boy, you're on top of it, man, was ordered to pay Desi Larkin 9,000 euros after he suffered burns to his crotch.
It hurts.
After coming into contact with a line used to mark lines on the pitch. Oh, watch where you step on the pitch. It's a bitch. Well, I've got news for you, man. The Brits are just, there's no hope for the world. You can scream about the ragheads all you want, but the Brits. In October 93, he was playing for Bonagas Celtic in a match with Donegal Town, during which time lime came into contact with his testicles. I wonder if Bud Foster remembers lime time. I'm sure he does. I wonder if Bud's still around. There were no showers at the pitch when Larkin awoke the next morning. He was in pain, having been referred to a hospital. A consultant confirmed his testicles had been burned. I've heard of burning love before, but this is ridiculous. The judge said, had there been showers available, the injury might have been averted. It was the defendant's responsibility to warn players of the risk. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
And you're knocking all these showerings and showers.
That's right. You got to go in there and shower the guys, man, because otherwise you might wind up with a burning in your groin. Of course, if you shower too much with the guys, you might have a different kind of burning in your...
This is Neil Rogers.
I'm thinking, I guess that's the definition now of what really old is. If you can remember a time before there was television, you're old.
Yeah. I would
like
imagine.
me.
Right. Ancient.
Can you even imagine?
No.
A time when we had no TV?
No.
Well, what did you do? I mean, what was your life? Or what was,
Well, you got caught polio and died young.
Oh, is that it? A series of fires damaged 6 rural Alabama churches overnight. Investigators today are trying to determine whether they were arson or, you know what Ray Nagin says, God surely is mad. He's pissed off. See?
Yeah.
I just had like a little grips there. I think God is pissed off at me. Don't be taking this too lightly now. Most of the churches were Baptist, located near major highways, and all but one were in Bibb County, about 25 miles south of Birmingham. The other church in Chilton County had been undergoing construction, which could have been a source of the fire, said Reagan Ingram. I wonder if he's kindred like Dave Ingraham, or Ingram, maybe Dan Ingram, Kemosabe, a spokesman for the state insurance agency that oversees fire investigations. That church, New Harmony Baptist in Fairview, was destroyed. No arrests have been made as of today, yet. In 1996, race was a factor in a series of arsons that damaged rural black churches in Alabama and elsewhere, but Ingram said the fires late Thursday early today destroyed both the churches of predominantly black congregations and predominantly white congregations. So I guess maybe he's like spreading them around. The arsonist. Maybe it's a racially fair arsonist. He wants to, when in doubt, even it out.
Don't like Baptists.
Jim Parker, member of the Ashby Baptist Church, told WBRC television in Birmingham he understood the fire began near the pulpit and that the fires at other churches had a similar pattern. Just a coincidence. God is surely mad. Just like listen to Ray Nagin talking about that chocolate city. Chocolate. Speaking of priests, this has got to be another one of those stories somebody made up, because I just don't believe these things, I think it's part of that liberal media propaganda all the time.
There's no fact in the church.
For damn sure. For sure, laddie. The investigation of a retired Vatican official accused of molesting an Eastern Ontario altar boy decades ago involves accusers in several other communities where the priest lived, police said yesterday. An arrest warrant has been issued for Monsignor Bernard Prince, 71, a retired Vatican official accused of assaulting a 12-year-old altar boy in the town of Wilno, Ontario, in the late 60s before he eventually moved to Rome to work for the Vatican. Oh, boy. I'll bet she's having a field day there. Not field, but a field day. He's feeling it. Sergeant Christine Ray Cholet said the matter could move to extradition proceedings if Prince continues to ignore an arrest warrant issued after charges were laid last October. You get laid last October? Probably
Possibly.
not. In the meantime, she said investigators were looking into other claims in other parts of Ontario. Even in the USA, we have allegations from different communities, said Ray Cholet. It's become quite extensive. I can't say how many complainants there are, but in fact, Prince did live in Wilno, Ottawa, Pembroke, and Arnprior, Toronto, and Kingston, as well as in the States, too, before he went out in North America. It's an extensive investigation. So far, Prince only faces charges related to an alleged assault at his former cottage in the small southern Ontario town of Wilno. We do hope that it comes back to deal with it. Everybody deserves their day in court, Ray Cholet said. Reverend Peter Proulx of the Diocese of Pembroke said he knew nothing about the allegations, and they never received any complaints about Prince. Prince has denied being notified of the allegations, but Ray Cholet insisted he's been told of the charges, ordered to return to Canada, or else, Although the Pembroke Diocese kept a record of its priest's career history, Proulx said a detailed list of Prince's postings was not immediately available. And it goes on about he did this one, he did that one. The controversy is just the latest to strike the Catholic Church in Ontario this year. Charles Sylvester, 82 of Bell River, faces 42 sexual assault charges, including indecent assault, rape, and attempted rape. Although, you know what Mo said, gang rape is a hoot. That what he said?
That's
something about Hooters. Okay, let's take a look. By the way, in case you missed it, we kicked their ass over there down the street, the sports nerds. How much of a sports nerd are you? That's our poll today on Super Bowl weekend. Even George is all excited about it. He's hoping to see some more boobies on there.
Huh?
Well, now, wouldn't that be sad if you missed it? I'm sure you missed the Janet Jackson thing.
Hardly.
Of course, you saw it 50,000 times.
Exactly.
That day. How much of a sports nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd, 315. I have some interest, but not big time, 280. In other words, I could take it or leave it. I hate everybody, 89. Total nerd, 47. I love to shower with the guys, 44. Snap their ass with a nice long white towel. I hate this pool, 43. I have no interest, 40. I hate spectator sports, 38. Only for gambling purposes, 23. Don't be betting on that Super Bowl this weekend. Your ass will go to jail, I'm telling you right now. Bill Bennett's going to come to your house and take your ass away. I only watch one sport, 21. I'm a jock sniffer, 13. Is there anything else besides sport? Only a dozen. 13 jock sniffers. Don't we have that thing, nasal passages?
Yeah, we do. Somewhere.
Oh. Huh? Now, that's not about that, but nevertheless. It's about your president snorting coke is what it's about. Too bad we don't have time to play it right now. But you know something, when we come back, there might be a damn good chance.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Buttheads, it's the 1 to 2 hour.
Every time I have to look at George, I can't help noticing how much he snorts. All that cocaine rotted his brain. Inside his nose, nothing else remains of his nasal passages. That's why George always thought he had no nasal passages. He bought a team to inhale the third baseline. He was born into money, but he's so goddamn dumb. Without it, he would be a homeless bum. Life of the party in his college days left him with 2 cells for a brain and no nasal cartridges. That's the reason he snorts heavily. He has no nasal cartridges. I bought my ticket and I'm holding my passport tight.
You fairy. Oh, too bad he had that stuck that GD in there, you know?
Yeah, it's too bad. How many times did you dump it?
I beg your pardon?
How many times did you dump it?
Once.
Okay, me too. That makes 2.
And Josh?
No, I saw George do it. We just looked at each other.
You saw George do it? I don't want to hear about it.
He took pictures.
How many votes have we got on the poll so far? We got 1,000 coming at 2 o'clock, and I have a feeling, 981 already. Like I said, we got 1,000 coming by 1:15 or sooner. Boy, I tell you, I don't know what got into these people. I guess they got pissed off, too, with this lackadaisical, this kind of laissez-faire attitude of the rest of these people. We don't want it. Yeah, they got pissed off about that. Pretty sad commentary when the audience has to go to bat first, and most of our guys are like just laying out, waiting for the steamroller to, run them over. What's that all about? Sports. Oh, and speaking of John Boehner, which is how you pronounce his name, my bad yesterday, jittery House Republicans have chosen Ohio Representative John Boehner over Republican Roy Blunt as their new majority leader. Boehner will replace Tom the Hammer DeLay, the Hammer.
Hey, stupid!
Now facing trial for money laundering and other charges in Texas, the party's chorus is queued up to celebrate Boehner as a new start, a clean contrast to the foul odor of corruption that pervades this Congress. This is on TomPaine.com, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, it says. Boehner, lauded by supporters as a bridge across Republican factions, has paved that bridge with the cold cash of special interest money. Boehner, a leader of Newt Gingrich's 94 takeover of the House, is renowned in Washington for maintaining a perpetual tan from Florida jaunts, liberally hopping on corporate jets dispensed by lobbyists, and raising tons of cash from K Street. His lavish beach parties for rich donors are his notorious signature, and he first came to public attention by giddily dispensing checks from tobacco executives on the House floor a decade ago. Boehner touts change with a wink of the eye. Yes, I am cozy with lobbyists, the Washington Post reports he told his colleagues, while assuring them that he would not overreact to the Jack Abramoff lobbying scandal by curtailing the lavish travel and spending habits they've come to enjoy. For a Republican caucus that can barely summon a majority to pass a ban on former members turned lobbyists using the House gym while grousing about anything approaching real reform, Boehner is the perfect choice. And for the rest of us, Boehner personifies how the cost of corruption in Washington gets passed on to ordinary Americans. As chair of the Education and Workforce Committee, he's known as the representative from Sallie Mae. Sallie Mae is the leading provider of loans to college students and their parents, and Boehner has consolidated his leadership by dispensing big bucks raised from lenders in that campaign and party contributions. In fact, the Center for Responsive Politics reports that Sallie Mae is the biggest donor to Boehner's political action committee called the Freedom Project. In return, he protects their interest. Most recently, he helped develop and push through legislation that may weaken the loan industry's competition, the Direct Student Loan Program, where students bypass Sallie Mae and others and borrow directly from the government. While taking it to their competition, Boehner openly reassured bankers that they would not be harmed greatly by this legislation. As reported in the Chronicle of Education, he informed a group of bankers that they could rest easy in his trusted hands. College tuition is soaring, and grant levels aren't keeping up. Under Boehner's leadership, Congress has refused to raise the top level of Pell Grants, despite repeated campaign pledges by Bush to do so. As a result, more and more students have to work part-time while taking on even greater levels of debt to pay for college. Already millions are having college priced out of their reach. Millions more drop out, unable to sustain the burden of classes and work in debt. And those who do make it will find the difficult burden of paying those loans just got harder. The new pre-owned leader of the Republicans in Congress is rewarding the bankers that contribute to his campaigns by protecting their profits and threatening their competition. And in this most corrupt Congress, he's portrayed as the reformer. When the stench gets this thick, it's no wonder that people start talking about cleaning the stables. Get the shovels, guys. Get the shovels. Got them?
Oh, I got several.
Good. Speaking of that, Missoula, Montana. Ever been in Missoula?
Frequently.
Been in Misery.
Mm-hmm.
200 miles away. As a matter of fact.
3-hour drive.
Scientists said on Thursday that they're a step closer to a vaccine against a bacteria that causes one of the world's leading causes of blindness and a common sexually transmitted disease. Research into the vaccine was stalled 25 years ago, but recent advances in DNA knowledge have led to a promising candidate for vaccine against chlamydia trichomatis. Pretty tricky, that chlamydia. Researchers Harlan Caldwell and Deborah Crane said in interviews yesterday the bacteria causes a sexually transmitted disease, chlamydia, which can cause pelvic inflammatory disease and infertility in women. The bacteria can also cause trachoma, an infection of the eyes that can cause blindness, both diseases treated with antibiotics. Caldwell and microbiologist Crane reported in a study released this week that antibodies to one protein may prevent infection by all 15 strains of chlamydia trachomatis, cockamamie. The study was released by the Rocky Mountain Laboratories of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Researchers at the lab in Hamilton, Montana, have been there?
Yes.
Oh, has been conducted, never been in Shelby, though.
Yes.
No, don't go back.
All around.
Has been conducted in test tubes, but will now move on to animal testing, the scientists said. Caldwell said animal testing could be complete within 2 to 3 years and clinical trials in people within 5 years. How do you like that? Bye-bye chlamydia. Maybe. What's this puking off the fax machine here?
It's a news story.
Oh. Sending me news stories?
Didn't you want that?
Oh, he is so easy, man. You're just a mess.
Well, I wouldn't want to upset Mark, who sent that
story.
story.
Basket case. Oh, it's your buddy Mark. Oh, a chronic faxer, Mark. But hey, Mark, what are you trying to tell us, Mark?
I have no life.
Okay. See, now you make it sound like I'm ungrateful for the story. I'll let you know whether I'm grateful or not. No, we'll see how good it is. It says, Judge slams ex-EPA chief over 9/11. Oh, what's that other story? Oh, yeah, here we go. I got to get to that in a minute. You know, the fact they dragged Cindy Sheehan out of there?
Right.
And that Republican from Florida, the congressman's wife? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. A federal judge blasted former EPA chief Christine Todd Whitman on Thursday for reassuring New Yorkers soon after 9/11 that it was safe to return to their homes and offices while toxic dust was polluting the hood. U.S. District Judge Deborah Batts refused to grant Whitman immunity against a class action lawsuit brought in 2004 by residents, students, and workers in Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn who said they were exposed to hazardous materials from the destruction of the World Trade Center. No reasonable person would have thought that telling thousands of people that it was safe to return to Lower Manhattan while knowing that such return could pose long-term health risks and other dire consequences was conduct sanctioned by our laws, the judge said. Fry her ass, Judge! She called Whitman's actions conscious shocking, saying the EPA chief knew that the collapse of the Twin Towers released tons of hazardous materials into the air. Looked like they just dropped H-bombs. Whitman had no comment. A Justice Department spokesman said the government had no comment. Spokeswoman Mary Mears said the EPA was reviewing the opinion, but it was pleased that the court had dismissed 2 of 4 civil claims against the agency, including allegations brought under the federal Superfund law. The judge let the lawsuit proceed against the EPA and Whitman, permitting the plaintiffs to try to prove the agency and its administrator endangered their health. The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages and reimbursement for cleanup costs and asked the court to order that a medical monitoring fund be set up to track the health of those exposed to Trade Center dust. Your government really cares about you. Is there anybody who believes that?
No.
They care about your welfare.
No.
They care about those dangerous drugs.
No.
Yeah. Right. The only drugs they care about are those over the street drugs.
Right.
And then they're going to throw your ass away for 20 or maybe even
About 30, man.
Nobody's going to see you no more. Here's that story that you were jonesing for. Ready?
Ready.
Jeremy Scahill on commondreams.org asks, a 9/11 conspirator in King Bush's court? While Cindy Sheehan was being dragged from the House gallery moments before President Bush delivered a State of the Union address for wearing a T-shirt honoring her son and the other 2,244 U.S. soldiers killed in Iraq, Turki Al-Faisal was settling into a seat inside the gallery. Faisal, a Saudi, is a man who has met Osama bin Laden and his lieutenants on at least 5 occasions, describing the Al-Qaeda leader as quite a pleasant man. He met multiple times with Taliban leader Mullah Omar. Yet unlike Sheehan, Al-Faisal was a welcome guest of President Bush Tuesday night. He's also a man that families of more than 600 victims of the 9/11 attacks believe was connected to their loved ones' deaths. Al-Faisal is actually Prince Turki Al-Faisal, a leading member of the Saudi royal family and the kingdom's current ambassador to the USA, but the bulk of his career was spent at the helm of the feared Saudi intelligence services from 1977 to 2001. Last year, the New York Times pointed out that he personally managed Riyadh's relations with Osama Yamama and Mullah Omar of the Taliban. Anyone else who had dealings with even a fraction of the notorious characters the prince has worked with over the years would never make it past a U.S. immigration counter, let alone to the most exclusive offices in Washington. Al-Faisal was also named in a trillion-dollar lawsuit filed by hundreds of 9/11 victims' families who accused him of funding bin Laden's network. Curiously, his tenure as head of Saudi intelligence came to an abrupt and unexpected end 10 days before the 9/11 attacks. Should I read that last sentence again?
Could you?
Curiously, his tenure as head of the Saudi intelligence came to an abrupt and unexpected end 10 days before 9/11 attacks. Nobody explained the circumstances under which he left, says Assad Abu Khalil, author of The Battle for Saudi Arabia, Worldly Fundamentalism and Global Power. We know for sure that he was tasked by the U.S. government back in the late 70s and on to assemble the kind of Arab, Muslim fanatical volunteers to help the U.S. and the CIA in the fight against the Soviet communist regime in Afghanistan. In the course of doing that, this man is single-handedly most responsible for the kind of menace that these fanatical groups now pose to the world peace and security. Yet there Al-Faisal sat on Tuesday on his ass as President Bush spoke of his war on terror and Cindy Sheehan was being booked. At one point, the cameras even panned directly on Al-Faisal, listening intently to Bush. I'm going to do the break and then I'll get back.
All right.
Finish it. I don't want to, rush through it because there might be 5 people out there who want to hear about it. How grotesque, and get them all pissed off. We don't have to get pissed off. We got the Super Bowl Sunday, baby. Football. Give me that ball. See, the one thing about the U.S. today that's very disturbing is that people are so passive, They're just, we don't wanna. It's kind of like our sports guys, They don't wanna. No matter what it is, nothing seems to, there's a small crew, of people. I mean, back in the 60s when young people started demonstrating and everybody else started jumping on the bandwagon and people were, rioting in the streets and going crazy and getting shot at Kent State and stuff like that. And now it's like, we got bigger fish to fry, We got more important crap to worry about.
Fried fish.
Yeah. Not from Canada, though. 113 at 560 WQAM. We got Curtis coming up at 2. Eddie K. from the Yenta Center for the Mad Dog at 4. Panthers and the Trashers tonight. It's not too early to be thinking about Valentine's Day, and if you really want to spoil your wife or girlfriend this year, give her what she really wants, a pajamagram. A pajamagram is a great twist on the idea of giving a relaxing gift. She'll receive the best pajamas delivered in a hat box she'll love, along with lavender sachet, a gift card, and a Do Not Disturb sign, all free. Sending a pajamagram only takes minutes, but she'll think you spent a month planning it. Shop online at pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. Find all the top brands from comfy to sexy. Great bath and body gifts, too. All that spa stuff that women just love. Plus, the packaging's amazing, so you don't have to wrap it. She'll be so impressed you won't believe what you're going to get in return. A pajamagram is the perfect gift, and best of all, they'll think of you every time she puts them on. Shop now and have your pajamagram delivered overnight or right on Valentine's Day. Just call 1-800-GIVE-PJs or do it online at pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com, and be sure and tell them that old Ancient Neil, who's kicking it beyond ancient style, sent you by. 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
You fairy. In a place that feels just like a bad day at the zoo. If the like dressed and drag, I drink that we too, yeah. If you wanna bring the circle, then let's do it. It seems all you gotta do is just ask your name, yeah. Who wipes his ass with sand? It's the Taliban man. Hates girls that don't wear pants. That's the Taliban man. The Taliban man won't take your bath. Got a smelly butt crack filled with sand.
Rectum.
I want this whole world so that people get their heartbeat first. I raise my hand like it out my neighbors when I call it Gary.
Who's a filthy, stinky man? It's the Taliban man. Has a butt crack filled with sand. It's the Taliban man. Here's a bomb for the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Yeah, we're doing a hell of a job on them Taliban, man. Sure nice of Colin Powell to give him that $23 million check in May of 2001, wasn't it?
Mighty white of him.
Nice job, boys. Aye, Poppy. Anyway, getting back to this story from commondreams.org about Turkey Al-Faisal, a real turkey, who was sitting there on his fat ass applauding your president on Tuesday night. The 9/11 family's lawsuit charges that Al-Faisal secretly traveled to the southern Afghan city of Kandahar twice in 1998, where he met with bin Laden's representatives and Taliban leader Mullah Omar. Based on sworn testimony from Taliban intelligence chief Mullah Kashgar, whatever his name is, the lawsuit claimed that Al-Faisal allegedly received assurances that Al-Qaeda would not use the infrastructure in Afghanistan to subvert the royal family's control of the Saudi government. In return, according to the lawsuit, the Saudis promised not to seek bin Laden's extradition or the closing of his training bases. Al-Faisal also allegedly promised Mullah Omar financial assistance. Shortly after the meetings, the Saudis reportedly shipped the Taliban 400 new pickup trucks. According to the London Observer, Kashkar also said that Al-Faisal arranged for donations to be made directly to Al-Qaeda and bin Laden by a group of wealthy Saudi businessmen. Mullah Kakshar's, that's his name, by the way, K-A-K-S-H-R. Okay. Mullah Kakshar's sworn statement implicates Prince Turki as the facilitator of these money transfers in support of the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and international terrorism, according to the lawsuit. A heck of a guy. Heck of a job, Turkey. Al-Faisal does not deny he traveled to Afghanistan in '98 for meetings with Mullah Omar, but insists it was to convey an official Saudi request to extradite Osama Yamama. Al-Faisal has a long history in Afghanistan. He worked closely in the 80s with both the CIA and the Mujahideen that would later form both Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. Ultimately, a judge dismissed the 9/11 family's lawsuit against Al-Faisal and his cohorts, saying U.S. courts lack jurisdiction over the matter, but many of those families firmly believe that Al-Faisal was connected to the attacks that killed their loved ones. The obvious question is, how does the president justify the ejection of a Gold Star mother from the State of the Union while openly welcoming a man believed by hundreds of victims' families to be connected to the attack Bush uses to justify every shred of his violent policies? During his speech, Bush said, it is said that prior to the attacks of September the 11th, our government failed to connect the dots of the conspiracy. Perhaps he should have just looked over his wife's shoulder up there in the gallery during the State of the Union. As if he didn't know. That one line. Curiously, his tenure as head of the Saudi intelligence came to an abrupt and unexpected end just 10 days before the 9/11 attack. Man, start connecting them dots. What's dots? Yeah, exactly. Well, you're not going to see no boobies at halftime Sunday. The Janet Jackson ripple effect, or it says should it be rip effect? No, I think it should be Janet Jackson nipple effect.
Right.
Has finally come around to the game that started it all. Sunday's Super Bowl will be on a 5-second tape delay pregame, postgame, and halftime show. Got that?
Got it.
ABC has had the same 5-second delay on its Monday Night Football broadcast, but this will be a first for the big game. According to NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy, the decision to delay the Super Bowl was entirely up to ABC, which delays other live entertainment programming. When in doubt, it out. Joyce it out. Fox didn't delay its broadcast of the game last year, however, telling CBS News at the time it was treating the broadcast as a news event. The halftime performer was Paul McCartney. Well, an old toad like Paul McCartney, he ain't going to, whip nothing out, you know. CBS probably wishes it had delayed the game the year before that. However, when Jackson revealed at halftime the 2004 contest helped prompt the ensuing wide-scale tape delays of live programming, with an assist from the FCC decision that Bono's F-word on the live Golden Globes was indecent. Well, guess what? F them. The delay gives monitors a chance to bleep audio or snip video that might offend viewers or legislators. Oh, we sure don't want to offend the legislators.
Right, yeah.
The Super Bowl halftime show this year features another British rocker, Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, who've already run afoul of the ABC football content controllers. Jagger got bleeped for language on ABC on 2 occasions when the Stones performed at a kickoff of the NFL season in September. But Mick and Mickey have been tight this year with Monday Night Football working Stone songs into NFL broadcast and promos. Mick and Mickey. According to a radio news report of an interview with Jagger, when asked about the halftime content, he joked that ABC was worried about how many times he would say the F-word. One chimed in a voice that sounded like a bandmate. He also added that the network was worried about Aretha Franklin stripping during the Star... Oh, God! During the Star-Spangled Banner. That would be obscene, man.
We're all worried about that.
Talk about indecent. Woo. Elsewhere in the indecency bull front, the Christian Coalition is marking the second anniversary of the Janet Jackson reveal by loudly complaining that no bill boosting indecency fines or tightening FCC enforcement has yet to pass. The Christian Coalition, who have decided that there are censors for all of us. Another group of self would like focus on the family and the parents, whatever the thing is, PTC. Given ABC's delay, at least the coalition is likely to see a repeat performance. Coalition President Roberta Combs opined in a statement that her congressional advice had not been followed. A bill by Representative Fred Upton of Michigan, which boosts the Republican, of course, which boosts the fines from a maximum $32,500 per violation to $500,000, passed easily in the House. But a similar bill is in the cooling saucer of the Senate, authored by Republican Sam Brownback of Kansas, a certifiably crazy person, has not gotten any traction. That's in part because the bipartisan backing of the bill has slipped a bit as liberals saw the threat of censorship of edgy content. Even some conservatives in the general populace cooled, realizing that a different political majority might threaten speech that they were in favor of. Like get that Rush Limbaugh, that pill-popping, phony, fat ass off the air. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Funny, I very, very seldom see moderates or liberals screaming, "Oh, get so-and-so off the air," you know?
Yeah.
Even if they hate them like poison.
Right, even if they're religious fakers.
Yeah. All these goody two-shoes, so much better for us. Oh, it's obscene. Get it off. We don't like it. Well, you know what? Don't watch it. Get lost. Your mama. How much of a sports nerd are you? We got about 1,000 votes. 1,028. It's not even 130 yet. Aren't you just shocked?
Yeah, whatever.
You're not? Just don't care no more. You don't care about sports.
I work
You don't
here.
care about the poll. Don't care about the fact we kicked ass at those losers down the street. Of course, why should you be anybody different from anybody else?
Well, I knew we would kick ass once you started beating on it. I didn't know by how much, though. I didn't know it would be so overwhelming.
7,531 vote margin. How much of a sport nerd are you? I'm a fan, not a nerd. 335. I have some interest, but not big time. 297. I hate everybody. 95. Total nerd. Total sports nerd. 50. Get help, please. I have no interest. 46. I love to shower with the guys. 46. That sounds interesting. All depending on the guys, not the football players. I hate this pool. 45. I hate spectator sports. 39. Only for gambling purposes. 26. I only watch one sport. 24. I'm a jock sniffer. 13. Is there anything else besides sports? 12. Good cross-section there. It's an excellent poll. Thank you for a wonderful job. And you even added some crap. Not much.
Right.
5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular wireless line. And look at that phone. Well, that's because I've been rambling on for a very long time, you know. Maybe we're done on the phone, you think? Well, once that delay catches up, though, you'll see.
That's right. 30 seconds.
How many?
About 30, man.
No. I think we got like 7 30-minute delays, which makes like 210 seconds, which last time I checked, that's, what is that? About 3.5 minutes. See? There you go.
It's 30 seconds.
WQAM, hello.
Yes, I was wondering, there was a poll the other day, and it was about, I think, closed restaurants that were really good. And someone said the Maikai, that it was closed, and I was...
No. Somebody started that rumor, you see. You know, the Maikai's not closed. It's still there.
Yeah, I thought so, because I saw it on the paper today. And for listeners that are interested, there's a happy hour. Your second drink is free. And they have from, I think it's 5 to 6 or 4 to 5 appetizers or half price.
Uh-huh.
So I thought in the bar. So I thought that might.
What are the dinner specials this week?
I don't know. Anyway,
okay, listen, I hope they give you 50% off anyway for your efforts.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
She don't work there. She's just trying to be helpful. And right away, there you go, question her integrity, her motivation. No wonder your wife hates you like poison. My God,
Right.
your relationships with women are sorely lacking.
Yeah, that's right. They're lacking, as in I don't have many.
That's what I'm saying.
Any.
WQAM, hello.
Neil,
Like your mother,
God.
for example. Look at that bad relationship there. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, good afternoon. Listen, I've been at work running around like crazy and I've been missing you here for the last year. Did anybody ever call and tell you about Ariel Sharon?
What about him?
Well, I was listening on earlier you had said that we're wondering about his condition because nobody said anything for a while about him.
Right.
Well, I was listening to the radio yesterday. I think it was IOD, and they had a news report that the doctors, you're going to love this, the doctors had inserted a feeding tube into him. Exactly, and he's in a coma, and they said that even if he does come out of the coma, he's probably not going to be able to speak or... Exactly. So, like I said, I was the same way. I hadn't heard anything about him.
Well, they're sure keeping it pretty quiet, I'll tell you that.
So, anyway, I thought you'd...
you notice how we were like hyperventilating? Every time he farted, they gave us the aroma there for a couple of days. Now they got off of that, and we don't know from nothing. Well, thanks for the good news, Pally.
Okay, and I don't know if they're going to remove the feeding tube or not.
Tube! Well, I'm sure that fat-ass Governor Bush will get involved in it. He'll take care of it. Thanks a lot,
Have a nice
Pally.
weekend. Thank you.
You too. In fact, the governor has become the governor, and we'd like to tell him where to stick it. 27 after 1. I'll tell you where to go for a fantastic meal. Terra Steakhouse. Boy, lucky that we got it in South Florida now. Whether you live near downtown Fort Lauderdale or not, it's worth the trip no matter where you are because Terra Steak and Lobster House on the 17th Street Causeway is unbelievable. You'll find them. Tara will be there, by the way, almost any given night. She greets the guests in her new 200-seat restaurant and lounge, and she's now bringing the East Coast residents the same fantastic food, the same great Terra dining experience which earned her Marco Island restaurant near-perfect marks in the Zagat survey, and a Wine Spectator Award of Excellence wine list that now boasts over 380 selections from the world's greatest wine regions. Try the wine. The main attraction at Terra Steak and Lobster House, though, is just like the name would suggest to you, fantastic, juicy steak and delicious, mouth-watering lobster, although they do a fine job with everything on the menu, from their cognac-infused lobster bisque to Mom's classic crab cakes, their selection of fresh seafood, and chops, too. Regarded by many as the Peter Luger of the South, Terra incorporates family recipes to complete the menu. Sauces and dressings made fresh in-house every day. Hand-selected dry aged short loins used to prepare their signature porterhouse for 1, 2, 3, or 4 are served cut away from the bone on a sizzling platter. They melt in your mouth. Sweet and tender is the only way to describe Terra's 3 to 6 pound Maine lobster collection, which are prepared steamed, broiled, stuffed with lump crab meat, or with a fillet for the ultimate surf and turf, whatever way you like them. And now, being stone crab season, Terra is quickly becoming the stone crab house as well. No need to fight traffic to go to Miami to get those jumbo sweeties, but be sure and reserve them in advance because they go fast. Don't miss Terra's happy hour every Monday through Friday with 2-for-1 specialty drinks or their complimentary wine tasting every Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 when you stay around for dinner. Terra Steak and Lobster House, you'll find them at 1430 Southeast 17th Street Causeway in Fort Lauderdale. You're going to love this place. Call Terra's at 954-765-6202 or on the web it's terrasteakandlobsterhouse.com. Don't forget, when the subject is great steak, you'll keep hearing about Terra's all the time because more and more people are going to discover this is the place. 954-765-6202.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
It's Friday, you bastard.
If anybody has opinion dissenting from our way, we'll place your name into the system as enemy of the state. Don't even bother to question, just follow and obey. Everybody's turning fascist, fascist USA. In the act of patriotism, we're watching all of you. Everyone's under suspicion, so watch what you do. They got information on all you mindless fools in Bush Fatherland Nation, fascist USA. You gotta hate those Jews and Clinton liberals too. Believe everything we tell you on the state-run news. Blood war and for cornbread, fill up your Escalade. A Reuben Cheney Bush menu, fascist USA. We don't mind to see our jobs go, a bad economy's good. We're fascinated by J-Lo, don't read no stupid books. All now are embracing the tax American way. Everybody's turning fascist, fascist USA.
I'm just thinking maybe a lot of these hysterical Muslims all pissed off about them comics, maybe they need like anger management course.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Because every time one of them ex-jocks or current jocks, goes and beats up his girlfriend or wife or both, maybe he needs anger management.
That's a fine idea.
All the sports nerds always say that crap, Nice cop-out. Yeah, let's have some gigantic anger management courses for the Muslims. We can put them like on TV. Give them all a big screen to sit around and watch. And then throw in some magic carpets, too, at the same time. You making fun of our flying carpets? No, I wish I had one. Save a hell of a lot of money on them damn plane trips.
You don't need a flying carpet.
That's true.
You fairy.
Wittenberg, Wisconsin. Authorities had no trouble locating the suspect after getting a call about a pedestrian attacking two moving cars. He was the one with no clothes on. Police said the first complaint came in about 9:36 yesterday morning after a woman encountered a naked man on the road. As she drove around him, he charged the vehicle, hit the right fender, and jumped on the hood, smashing the windshield and breaking off the passenger side mirror, authorities said. It doesn't say what he hit the vehicle with, but he slid off and was lying on the road, but he got up into a football-type stance and charged the second vehicle as it approached, damaging a fender. A football-type stance, like squatting.
Right.
Huh? He was doing the squats, I guess. I don't know what else they would be talking about.
I got into squatting.
Yeah, that's what we heard. He then opened the door, climbed in, and sat down. An ambulance got to the scene ahead of sheriff's deputies, had no trouble with the man. Sergeant Staber Cook said the 42-year-old man was taken for medical treatment and psychological assessment. His name was not released. The motorists were not injured. Well, there you go. Maybe he's just going out to get a new wardrobe, which I need badly, How's my wardrobe coming, by the way? When I stop and think about the way you were talking about Roger Magdalene, that outfit he used to wear to work at IOD every day.
Every day.
On my baggiest pants day, I don't think I could ever. No, I could never even come close.
And I never did get
that.
into the. I don't know what he wore cologne-wise or perfume-wise, but he sure wore a lot
Too much
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been through that thing. I know some people that, like I've always said, it's one thing to smell good, but it's such a thing as smelling too good. Like the Crow, for example, A little cashmere bouquet ain't all that bad, but the whole can, I don't think so. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. The big news is we kicked some big juicy ass, and even bigger news. You know something? I'm not surprised. Nothing surprises me. You just wait till that March 1st, 30th anniversary show. It's only 28 days in February this year because it's not leap year. So we got 25 more days this month. So that means like 26 days, less than 4 weeks. Then they're going to put on the Ritz. You know what I mean? As in crackers.
I'll bet.
It's going to be like I'm telling you, like ticker tape parades. They're going to be coming in there with like all kinds of costumes on, bands, all the dancing girls like in The Godfather. There, take your pick. Most of them will look like the water Nazi, but nevertheless. 5670560. Pound. They're just oblivious. You're right. We're in a different world, and why do I promise.
I don't know. Please.
No.
Begging you.
I'm never going to say it again. I accept it. I understand. I don't like it, but that's why they pretend they didn't get that email the other night because that would require addressing that issue, and it's never going to change. We are here, and you are there. You know what I'm saying? We are here. Who did Mo?
Yeah. And you?
WQAM. Hello.
George is such a freaking fan.
WQAM. Hello.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
First of all, two things. I just printed that article that you just read about good old Princess Turkey. Yeah. I'm going to give it to a few folks at work that were talking about Cindy the other day.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And
Shame on her. She actually had the nerve to wear a tutu.
Yeah, and her horrible meeting with Chavez. Because down here, if you meet with Chavez, you're automatically in bed with Fidel. All that good crap.
Comunista, yeah.
Yeah. Second is, I don't know if you guys saw this story, but I was reading earlier that the Hamas is putting on their own TV channel. Maybe they can run the Repentant Shiite or whatever that soap opera.
Shiite. Mm-hmm.
There you go. That was it. That was my thought.
Thanks a lot, pal.
All right.
See ya. Well, there you go. There's like a real caller with a real brain. How do you like that? Who actually printed out that story about Turkey Al-Faisal? Man. And, of course, you know what we got to do with turkeys, because they are kind of a bird. Get them before they get us. Too late now in his case, I guess, huh?
A little bit.
Let me say it. Saudi Arabia. That's where we need to be doing una bomba grande.
Right.
Saudi Arabia. They should have gone there and hooked up that gigantic to the oil and said, all you ragheads, get out of here now. The party's over. Get lost. We're getting divorced. But no. And, of course, why would they do that? Because they're in business together. You know, there's a lot of money in that black
stuff.
stuff.
We attack their rival, their enemy instead.
Don't get all whipped up about it. Then I'll start regressing back into this thing about who did Mo, Who did Mo? 1,061 votes on our poll today. We really, we're emotional. We're so excited about what's happened here this week. Over the top. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
All right.
I know how much you like South Florida Swine Company, in other words, a.k.a. the police department.
Yeah.
If you want to see a segment on Channel 4, which shows how they get them all riled up, they do this investigative report where they go in and the guys basically have a complaint against an officer of the department, and they go to the 38 departments in South Florida. He goes in and asks for a form to file a complaint. Of the 38 departments, only 3 have an actual form. Everyone else basically wants to, you have to go through these channels, and you got to do that. And
I think some of them, if you go in and make a complaint, they just respond like that real quick.
Well, the funny thing about the whole thing is you should see how the guy goes in and just gets him like really riled up, to the point where one officer actually escorted him off the property almost at gunpoint. It was amazing thing. You see these, it's like 4 or 5 different officers from these different departments. It's like really amazing how they get all riled up.
Well, thank God there are no bad cops, man. Thank God for that, because if there were, we'd have some real problems. Multi-privileged.
Absolutely. And,
okay, Pally.
all right, have a good one.
And when in doubt, pig out. Speaking of 140, 20 till 2, we got Curtis Stevenson at 2. We got in the revolving Mo slot. You know Mo had a revolving slot?
Good God.
Yeah, that's why he got all them, Eddie K.
Is that so he can sit and spin?
Okay. Oh, sit and spin. Isn't that the game he played at Monte Carlo, sit and spin over at the casino, yeah. Eddie K at the Yenta Center at 4 o'clock. We'll get you all whipped up for that big hockey game. I would imagine might talk a little about the Stupid Bowl, probably. Panther preview at 7 with Jesse Agler, I'm sure. Am I right?
Okay.
I don't know. What about Josh? Does Josh know?
What?
And then the Panthers and the Thrashers, 7:30 night. Lenny and Troy. Lenny Martez and Troy. See, it's not only outside the rest of the building. Now it's degenerating like inside our own studio now.
Why should we care more than they do?
That's true. They don't care. We don't care either. How do you like that? We can match you for indifference. How do you like that? Your mama.
You think you've seen apathy?
Yeah, we can be 1,000. I'm just going to play that 100 years gone by thing every day for 4 hours.
Oh, good God.
And still get a bigger number than
we'll do that.
19 till 2 at QAM with...
Absolutely.
Who smells it, tells it has always been my style. Who would get saddle girls that kept it so vile? I blame others, but it's me that's so foul. Another one is coming from my mouth. Listen to my thoughts. My ass cheeks spreading too. Listen to my fart. The sweet smell of my food. You don't like what you're smelling, but it's great to me. Listen to my fart. And it was an SBD.
Yeah, we can smell them, we can sniff them, we just can't hear them. Right. That's what it's all about. Well, at least that's something. 14 till 2 at QAM, anti-Castro radio commentator Armando Perez Roura. How do you say that? R-O-U-R-A? Roura.
R-O-U-R-A? Roura.
Right. What is it?
Roura.
No, not A. There's no A.
Oh, sorry.
What did I ask you? Doesn't subscribe to the leftist center views of Cuban dissident Oscar Espinosa Chepe. But Espinosa thinks that didn't stop Perez Roura from plagiarizing one of his articles. According to a letter Espinosa wrote from Havana, Perez Roura copied most of a column he wrote in September, word for word, from a column Espinosa wrote 4 days before. The copycat twist comes at a time when the older first generation of exiles and younger opposition members on the island are trying to reconcile their respective roles in a post-Castro Cuba in a climate tinged equally with a spirit of cooperation and mistrust. Espinosa was one of 75 opposition members rounded up by Cuban security agents in 2003 and convicted in swift summary trials. He was released from prison for medical reasons in late 2004 and continues reporting as an independent journalist. On September 14th, Espinosa published an article entitled El Final de una Industria, the end of an industry. What?
I said burp.
About the demise of Cuba's sugar production. 4 days later, the Miami-based Spanish-language daily Diario de las Americas published Perez Roura's Sin Azúcar no hay país. Boy, am I doing a fine job in reading that Espanol, man.
Azúcar.
I beg your pardon?
It's not azúcar.
What did I say?
You say azúcar all the time.
Azúcar.
Oh, that
no
was
hay país.
Much better.
I thought I was doing a good job of reading this, and then you start with that spick stuff.
Roura.
Azúcar. You're going to start with that Celia Cruz crap again? We're going to have to go back into that.
Right. Let's do it.
I am Celia Cruz and I am dead now, but I remember when I was alive. I will leave you to
As a matter of fact, she's the one that says azúcar.
Right. These are pronounced like S's for what it's worth.
What?
Azúcar.
Roura. To my surprise, this work coincided with one of mine, Espinosa wrote in a January 9 letter to the editor of Diario de las Americas and Cubanet, the U.S. government-subsidized website that published Espinosa's article. That's Cubanet. See, that's what happens when you get sucked into thinking you were getting real fancy with Espanol. Cubanet, not Cubanet. Jesus, what an idiot.
I have a cabinet.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I feel an elemental fairness. If the works and investigations of other authors are used, at least they should be credited appropriately. An examination by the Herald shows that more than three-fourths of Perez Raoura's column, published February 18th, about 500 of 660 words were an exact copy of Espinosa's, and the column doesn't credit or cite Espinosa. And he says, "Oh, bada beep, bada boop, your mama." Whatever. Azúcar. And it's even got an acento on it, too, so there's no excuse for my very bad Espanol. It really is. Well, not that I give a crap.
You don't care. That's a good excuse.
No, I don't. And just like you don't care about the Super Bowl, and I don't care about speaking and pani. I could care less.
No piqui pani?
I'm having enough trouble speaking English. We got 1,074 votes on that poll today. How much of a sports nerd are you? I have no predictions on the Super Bowl now. Who are you rooting for? George says the Steelers. I'm not going to watch
Seahawks.
it. I'm not going to watch it.
They used to root for Seahawks.
Just to piss off Josh, because you can't believe that anybody who even has a minimal interest in sports. But it is true that a lot of people who are just very, very minimally interested, whether it's the World Series, they might not watch a baseball game all year long, but it's a happening, so they watch the World Series. See?
Yeah, it's like something to do, you know.
It's a big happening, man. It's an event. It's ballyhooed and something to do and yada, yada, all of the other crap. And, of course, the Super Bowl is number one in that category. Now, the Stanley Cup Finals, does anybody care about that outside south of the border? No, unless their team is in it. Nobody cares. Panthers and the Thrashers tonight should be, well, I don't know. But at least the Thrashers score a lot of goals, I can tell you that. Exciting team. Go out there and just... Because I heard a rumor that the Hurricanes, you know, they had to have that new on-campus arena. Somebody I know went to a game, what did they play, Wake Forest Wednesday night? Yeah, they said the Wake part was correct. Because the arena, they didn't want to build it too big to make it look embarrassing with like thousands of empty seats, so they only made 7,000 seats. And he said there were maybe 3,000 people there. Maybe. So what was the need for that? Other than, of course, this concept that we have to have a stadium and an arena on every street corner to make the sports nerds happy?
Well, you know, it'll bring more people to sports.
That's correct. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil. I just wanted to tell you that I'm out here listening to you every day, and you're a great company, and George is good, too. And one more thing, I like when you do the Balance for Life commercials and you call people fat cows. That's funny.
Well, listen, it takes one to know one. That's what I always say.
It's funny, though. Have a great day. Have a great day, Jorge.
You too.
Well, thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, we are fat cows. Well, I'm not. Maybe like a small cow.
I'm working on it.
Are you really?
That's why I'm trying to calm
191
down.
on the scale this morning. Not too bad for me, but the only bad news about that, I'm so sorry she brought up about weight. Because I smelled that aroma. You know, it just put me in a food coma. I got to have pasta, man. Not a good idea.
No.
Oh, there's Hugo Chavez and Fidel hugging and kissing. And
Which we assume were hold flags.
Yeah. Well, whatever. The whole world is full of crooks. That's all I can tell you. At any rate, maybe just a can of Franco-American with a slice of Swiss cheese in it. Melted. I'm not going to do that. That's like about a once every 5 year kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah, don't do it.
Why?
You
never had it.
But nevertheless.
It sounds bad. So if I was going to actually do that, I should...
Since you've already had it, you know what it's all about, so, onward and upward.
Okay. 151.
Oh,
Jesus.
God.
Oh, I know. It scared the hell out of me. I looked at that clock, and for just a second, I thought, this can't be happening to me. Well, it's been a very high-pressure week, high energy on this show. We single-handedly kicked the crap out of the guys that the rest of the station should have been dealing with, should have been confronting them head-to-head, but no.
We don't wanna. We don't wanna.
See, it's that ostrich attitude. If we just don't talk about it, they'll go away. They'll disappear.
See, they don't even know what
they don't want to participate. They don't want to stand up for themselves like a man, like Marlon Brando said. Don't you remember in The Godfather when Al Martinez was, I don't know what to do.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
What's the matter from you? We don't want to. So we did it. Final vote on that poll, by the way, was WQAM 10,543. And 790 the ticket. 3,012. We beat them by 7,531 by more than 3-1. So who the hell are they kidding? Alan Brown. You can send out all the emails, all the memos. And thanks again to Joe Rose for bringing that email over. So really inspired me yesterday. Nice going, Joe.
We knew he still loved us.
I say Joe Rose 2-4. Huh?
Hey, that would work.
And then I know who could fill his morning slot over there. Man, that would be sweet. 153 at 560 WQM, the air.
Friday, you bastard.
58, we got Curtis sitting by, and he'll be along in the rotating slot. How does it feel to be in a rotating slot?
Oh, it's a spin.
Is it really?
It's a blast.
Is it like a free spin?
reasonably
Of
priced.
course, you never played Wheel of Fortune. You never played the slots at all, huh?
Why do we keep going over this? I played the slots a lot. I won money at it, like about $150 when I was in Vegas.
Maybe I had you confused with Josh.
Must have been.
But you never played Wheel of Fortune.
I would rather play blackjack. I don't remember what I was playing when I was playing.
Well, that's bad.
Whatever
you
was
remember
open.
what you were playing.
Whatever was
Maybe
walking
maybe it
by.
was sevens.
It could have been.
And then they got I walk right by them, and then of course now they got all these like computerized games with these what would you like digital? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, I like digital.
I have no idea how those things even work, and I don't even want to go into it. Anyway, in the Brides War Combats, I want to get this in. This is in the British Online Sun. 2 lesbian soldiers have become the first Army gays to get wed. The Sun can reveal. That's WED. Private Sonia Gold, 19, and Vanessa Haydock, 18, tied the knot under new civil laws in the UK. Vanessa, based at Hullington Wilts, said it was wonderful to get married, and being the first to get married was the icing on the cake. We want to be together forever, she said. Boy, if you saw these two with their real short, tight hair, you know, the real butch. In fact, almost bald now that I look at this.
Well, they just got out of the military, right?
I see. And Sonia told how she couldn't wait to tie the knot when Vanessa proposed after they fell for each other while training. I don't know what they were training for, but
I'll tell you.
The pair, both privates in Royal Logistics Corps, married under new civil partnership laws, and yada, yada, yada. So there you go, man. Couple of really... And you know something? What's wrong with dykes, huh?
Nothing.
There you go.
They're great.
That's our... Remember I Like Ike? Well, what's wrong with I Like Dyke? Let's everybody get a little button and a sticker.
Right, you go
Okay,
girls.
listen, go Steelers or go Seahawks, whatever you want, and we'll be watching something else.
Bye, bye, bye!